talking.
Okay.
Who's the problematic child now?
Let's all get prepared, okay? Katie, I'm speechless. I don't know what to ask you.
If that's your kink, I'm so happy for you.
I will throw my old Kindle across the room because I'm not doing that tonight.
And now, here are your hosts.
Hello, fellow bookworms. Welcome to Bookmark Your Next Chapter, a podcast hosted by Katie,
Amanda,
And Kristen.
three friends who love books. Well, friends, in this episode, we are going to be covering chapters 26 through 38 of the...
Stop. Katie is lying because, yet again, we did not get through the episodes we promised you we would get through. So, Katie, can you let them know what episodes we will actually be covering this episode?
I wasn't lying. I was kidding, and y'all fell for it.
Psych.
So friends, in typical us fashion, we went on too long. We blabbed too much, and we even condensed our notes this time, and we still ended up going over. So instead of going until 38 in this episode, we will only be going 26 through 31 of the Crown of Gilded Bones, the third book in the Blood and Ash series. Now, keep in mind, while we're not doing in-depth coverage to 38, we have read up until 38. So we will be hinting at theories and things that happen past this 31 where we're going to be stopping the coverage today. So if you want to go in completely unspoiled, maybe wait to listen to this, go finish reading up till 38 and then come back to us. We'll be here. Just, we don't want to spoil anything for you. But yeah, 26 through 31 today, but could be touching on topics up to 38.
And as always, we will be an R-rated podcast due to the adult content that we will be discussing. And in addition to that, we will be discussing some sensitive topics, and we will call them out when we get to the beginning of that chapter. But you can also check in our episode description because we will call out the timestamp there as well if you want to be able to watch when we're speaking and then skip past that. So you have been warned, and we're happy to make sure that we take care of you that way.
All right. Are we ready to get into this, friends? So chapter 26, we are chapter starting with this. I'm just going to read it exactly. Castile's gaze met mine, sensing a thread of concern in him. I nodded before he could question me. A faint smile appeared, and he motioned for the guard to open the door. So they're about to go in and talk to the queen and the king. This is the big meeting that we've had a long time to wait for.
Yes. So when this happens, there is a note made that Poppy is feeling like a sorrow sensation or a deep sorrow from Cass's mom. And at this point, the first thing that came to my mind is she feeling this deep sorrow because of Cass's brother and her son being gone? And because Cass was gone for a long time, right? And this is his first, his mom saw them in the temple when shit was going down, but this is the first time he's been home and is kind of coming back. And my thoughts were maybe she's feeling that way because she's so happy that her son is home, but then also she has this son that also isn't coming home.
So I don't even think I picked up on that.
I had
not important.
Which is what I normally do.
I'm following along on my Kindle. So if you guys see me looking down, I'm just looking at my Kindle, okay?
Sure.
But I highlighted that too. It says a rush of emotion poured from her, relief, joy, love, and underneath all of that was something tangy, like sorrow. There was a throbbing, steady current of grief as she rose, reminding me very much of what I often felt from Castile when we first met. And I was also thinking is it about Malek that she's feeling this sorrow about? Is it about the time that she missed with her son?
Mm-hmm.
I was also curious about it. So that's funny that we both highlighted that
and
one.
Castile, when Poppy first met him, she made a point to say she could feel this sorrow underneath, and it ended up being because of his brother. So I think that's why I was also well, it must be the same thing. I never thought about it being Malek because that would also be a really huge thing that happened in her life that would pull that. So especially with seeing Poppy because of the,
it's all these emotions all at once.
Yeah, what we know now, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that. My first thing was I think right after that, she's oh, she's not wearing her crown, and she talks about Queen Ileana, whatever the other
Ileana.
I think it's Ileana and Ileana.
Yeah.
And Jalara, how they wore their crowns to bed. I'm That's a red flag. Also very uncomfortable.
So yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting as well that she talked about them not wearing the crown, but for some reason my thoughts on that were like I thought it was kind of interesting because she's comparing the way the Ascended rule their kingdom and how it's like you have to have your crown on at all times and like to show off how important you are. And now I think that the reason they weren't wearing their crown is because they're more humble people. But in this
Mhm.
moment, I was actually thinking, would it have been disrespectful for them to be wearing their crowns when like the true heir is walking in? And like I was almost thinking they were doing it as like a sign of
Oh.
respect. Like I'm not going to have a crown on my head and you walk up to me when I'm not the rightful heir, kind of.
Especially when she already took the crown off and like
Yeah.
put it
Right?
at her
Yeah.
feet.
So I kind of felt, is this like a thing of respect that they're doing? But it didn't say that. And I think in hindsight now, after reading these chapters, it was more of just like they're very humble people and they're not like
Yeah.
rub it
Could
in
be a
your
little
face
bit of both
that-
too, though. Like I can
Yeah.
definitely see them doing that.
But-
That's like a
Sure.
very like I would never have thought of that though. Like
Mm-hmm.
just thinking of it that way. Like it is that, you know, like Katie said, probably is a bit of both, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another thing too that I thought was interesting at the very beginning was that Cass's mom called him Hawk.
I noted
it-
this too.
It really took me like off guard when she was like, "Oh, hi Hawk," or however she said it, and I was like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "Oh yeah," because
Yeah.
didn't
a minute.
I couldn't totally remember the history behind this, but wasn't there something about that the mother has like either a special name for the
Yeah.
Atlantean and she's the only one that can call them that name, or is it her plus like anyone really close to you can call?
It's her and anyone close.
Any really close. So yeah, I wasn't expecting that, and I thought it was actually quite cool that happened, and it brought
I
back memories
know.
from the earlier books. Yeah, it was sweet.
I know. I wrote it. I noted it down too, and I was like, "This is literally the first time she's seen him in years." Like I kind of forgot about that. Like we've seen Valen because he kind of joined the battle or whatever,
Yeah.
but like this is literally the first time she's seen her son in years, and the first thing out of her mouth is like her nickname for him, and I was just like, "Oh,
Right. That
my
is so,
heart."
I know. It was so cute.
I'm impressed you remembered that like only she gets to call him certain names because I think I know like I saw that.
2 today.
Oh, that's funny. It's like
we
oh,
talked about it in episode
Totally
2.
forgot.
I'm like, "Oh, I remember this."
That is funny though. You're like,
Yeah,
yeah, you
mm.
shouldn't have said that. You should have been like, I am just so
professional.
so on point with any of this. Okay, so two things that I kind of want to comment on, but this is where my first crockpot theory comes in to play. But before I get to that, I also wanted to speak on the fact that Poppy also makes a point to say that when because she reaches out to Cass's mom and she's feeling this deep sorrow, but then she also says that when she tries to reach out to feel like kind of Castiel's dad's emotions, she didn't feel much from him at all. But then she said something like, well, maybe he knew how to block my emotions. And before this point, I feel like we speculated that maybe some people could block that out. Like Alistair, for example, she was
Right.
feeling sincerity from him and she made a point to be like, I trust him because I reached out and when he was talking to me, I felt like the honesty and he ended up being a total douche. So it was interesting that we kind of speculated that, but I feel like this is her confirming because she said, oh, maybe he's blocking me out. So I
Right.
think we know now that her power is something that can be like mentally,
There's a
like
defense
something could go
against
against it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not,
Yeah.
it can't reach anybody no matter what. So
Mhm.
I don't know if that's a potential thing of foreshadowing, but I just thought it was interesting that it was like a confirmation on that. But as for my crockpot theory, it kind of started with me thinking about like them wearing the crown and being the rightful heir. And so I was thinking, what if there's something to be said about Poppy being the rightful heir of Atlantia and Cass's mom kind of like wrongfully sitting in that position? Because what if the gods or whatever are showing, like, you know how like shit kind of starts hitting the fan for a second. I think like wind starts blowing or whatever. And I was thinking, what if the gods are disapproving of Cass's mom sitting on the crown? And that's kind of the reason that there's like this unsettling feeling between them. And maybe it's because I think also Cass says to his mom something like, you don't look well, or there was something, she was pale or what have you. And it was like, what if the gods are like sucking the life out of her because she's not the rightful heir? And like, that's kind of where my mind was going. But then literally, I think 5 seconds after that, she explains, like, oh, actually, I was just really shocked you're not a vampire. And I was like, oh, well, there goes that theory. Because she was like, her
Well,
blood was drained. And I think Cass
yes.
asks her, like, are you okay, mother? Or like, what? You don't look well. And she's like, no, I'm just so shocked. And I was like, well, that
Yeah,
theory out the
I
window
made
in
note
3
of that
seconds.
too. I was trying to find it where I had it. But like, yeah, because she's like in Poppy's head, she's thinking along the lines of, oh, I wish I could find it. Oh, okay, here it is. So Poppy says, a jolt ran through me because, as unbelievable as it was, I sometimes forgot, if only for a few moments, what happened. When I remembered, like now, it also felt like a dose of disbelief. But Castiel's mother had gone completely still as she stared at me, the blood draining rapidly
Yes,
from her
that.
features.
I was like, oh, the gods are sucking the life out of her.
Well, you know where my mind went? I'm like, how the fuck does she know what Poppy's thinking in her head right now? Does she have like similar powers to
Oh,
Poppy? I don't think she does
interesting.
now.
But in the
But I'm like-
moment,
I'm
you
like,
thought,
what are the chances of that?
oh, that's
Because
cool,
it's literally
though.
Poppy's thinking in her head, like a dose of disbelief goes through her, and she's like, no, like there's no way. And then like her mom just like loses all. I'm
like,
like,
right
how?
when those thoughts happen.
Yeah,
So you're like, she
yeah.
can sense her thoughts, and this
I'm
is
like,
her
is she
reaction
reading
to
her
that.
mind?
Oh,
like,
that's kind of cool.
yeah. I don't think so
Mhm.
now, but I
Well,
don't
like, I
know.
mean, mine was like, I literally read the next sentence and I was like, oh, never mind. Like, I literally like stopped my audiobook and I was like, oh my God, what if this blah, 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 her face is draining, hit play. Oh, I'm just surprised you're not a vampire. And I was like, well, there goes that theory. I guess I'll include it just so you kind of see where my mind was going. But it was like immediately shut down.
I love it.
Yeah.
I
So
had a few moments like that. God,
you're like, this,
no.
oh my God. Oh, shoot. Oh, it's not right.
Immediately shut down.
No.
So at this point, Castiel is starting to get mad because his parents are obviously getting upset and are discussing the fact that he tried to ascend her. And like, obviously to him, she's the love of his life. And the fact that anyone would expect anything different is making him mad. But I feel like he has to come to an understanding that if, like, I get that Cass is looking at it like, I would rather die than live without Poppy, and he's gonna do anything to stop that from happening. But I kind of feel a bit for his mom because I'm thinking about how she was on the other side of that. Like, I don't know, if it were me, I would feel some type of way that I'm with a guy that somebody else, she's like, oh my God, I can't live without you, I'm gonna save your life. But then I wasn't that person.
Right.
So, like, I think maybe if that hadn't happened, not because ascension is bad, but because she was personally like the other lady that didn't have that happen to her. Like, I would
Right.
feel, well, why didn't he do that for me? So she may have some, other feelings on that. And that's kind of where I was thinking. Like, it's almost a slap in the face because her love literally didn't do that for her, but then she's witnessing somebody doing exactly that to Poppy. So I just feel like her anger is a little more justified than like what Cass and them are giving to her. I feel like they could have been a little bit more empathetic.
The
that's
only
all.
caveat to that is I don't think she can be ascended or whatever, right? Because she's Atlantean.
Right. I guess
Yeah.
that's fair. I just not
It's just the
necessarily an
act of
ascension.
what it
yeah,
meant
the act of
behind
I
it.
will do
get
anything
it.
for someone I love, and
Yes.
that wasn't her. I guess
Right.
and
Yeah.
but I was just like, oh,
I
I kind of
get
feel
it, but
bad
I'm
for
like,
her.
I get it. Like, I get it, but also it's like, do you really want your son to live without the person?
Exactly.
You love
Like, I'm
so
totally
much?
on
Like, it's
Cass's side
hard.
about it, but I was just like, oh, I can kind of like see why she's so upset. Like,
Yeah.
her.
And I think
Yeah.
too, there's like, because you guys remember, like in the early, I think it was maybe book 1, but they were saying how, like it's illegal not illegal, but it's severely frowned upon, for like to Atlanteans to even like raise anyone. Like that's kind of
Yeah.
why the
Yeah.
king was partly dethroned. So I think a part of it too was probably fear for her son. Like, what's this going to mean for
True.
him?
Yes,
right?
that's a
like,
good point.
True.
yeah.
Yeah. I noticed, I think right after, like, they kind of talk about that too, like, with the anger coming from Cass's mom, like, it's noted that Kieran steps close to Poppy at the coolness of, like, Cass's mom's tone. And I'm like, my thought was, like, does it mean something? Like, is Kieran picking up on something? Because Kieran knows
Yeah.
Cass's parents. Like, he should know who they are, what their values are, like, what they're going to stand for, And the fact that he's stepping close to Poppy, feeling like I get the feeling like he felt like he needed to defend her.
I totally
like
agree with
this,
you.
it was worrisome. Like I was like, oh my god, is this foreshadowing for something? Like, are we getting a little hint here that something
Yeah, like you've known these
isn't right?
people your whole life,
Yeah,
and why are you feeling the need to defend Poppy from them? Like, is there more
yeah.
to this that we don't know?
Like, is there a threat we're not seeing?
I don't know. Like, I don't know if there is. I think I talk later about other things that I've noticed, but
At that time, though, like that's definitely how that
yeah,
came off.
I'm not sure. I'm still not sure.
You're like, oh, I know. I'm feeling like you'll see as my notes go along, but I'm like, I don't trust her. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. No, I don't know who I.
Yes,
I was so suspicious
me.
in these chapters of everyone.
Speaking of trust, I was thinking about this the entire time I was reading. Kristen, how do you feel about the queen now? Because like originally you were super sus of her, and like I don't like her. I don't think she's good. I don't think she's good people.
The
What do you
evil
think
queen?
now? No. Like
Cass's
Cass's mom.
I was never that way.
Yeah,
I never liked the evil queen.
No, I know that. But you also were like, I don't know if we don't know enough about Cass's mom. I don't know if I like her yet.
Oh, I still don't know about her.
You're like, I'm still undecided.
Because I freaking love her.
Oh, see, I'm like Kristen. There, you'll see in my notes here. I have like some paragraphs about like I don't trust her. I don't trust her. I don't trust her.
Really?
Then she says something,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so sweet. Okay, like I feel bad for not trusting her, and then I'm like, nope, I don't trust her again.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
I'm shocked. The whole time
Yeah.
I'm reading, I'm like, oh, I love her. Oh, I love her.
I want to love her.
I want to love her too. Like I hope
I just
that
don't.
that's how I feel too.
Wow. Fine then.
We'll dig deep into that as we go along here, but that's so funny that Chris
We'll
and I
get
are
into
like,
that.
I
I made
Very
a note here.
suspicious.
I made a note here. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So
you're just still so shook that we could
Yeah,
think that
I
is
am,
sweet
honestly.
Eloana.
Ileana. So at this point, like, Poppy is getting like overwhelmed because she's sensing like everyone, the tension in the room, Kieran being protective, all of this stuff, and so she like kind of shuts down her senses. And she says, "I'm not allowing myself to read anyone in the room at this moment. It's what I feel that matters." And I was like, "This is
Which is
such
huge.
character growth
Yes.
for her." You know, like she's like, I don't care what these people think about me. Like, it's what I feel that matters.
Yes. And to add to that, I think right after that happened,
Yeah.
the queen was kind of like scorning, I don't know, scolded, was scolding them about scorning. What does that mean? Is that the
I
right
don't
word
know.
too? Or is that like
Someone
totally
Google
off?
it.
I feel like it makes sense.
Scorn is like, it's not right.
Okay.
I can't like define the word for you
But
off the
it
top
is
of my
not
head,
the
but I
way
don't
I'm
think it's
using
the
it.
right word. I don't
Okay.
think that word thinks what you think it means.
I kind of don't either. Okay, so the queen was scolding kind of Cass, like both of them, but was directing it at Cass. And at this point, I love how Poppy starts to stand up for herself. And she basically, like, internally is saying to us, like, look, I'm not letting another person in power make me feel some type of way because of a misconstrued opinion of what happened. She's like basically Poppy's saying, okay, yes, Ascended are bad. I'm not Ascended. And I understand what could have happened, but like she is spot on in saying that the only reason that Cass even had to perform an ascension is because her Atlantean people committed treason and
Yep.
attacked her.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
how is the concern from the queen not the fact that your people did something they shouldn't have done?
Right.
Instead, she's upset about the result that Cass had to do because of her people committing treason
Yeah.
and like
And almost murdering a deity.
yeah, her
Like-
people were acting like total savages, and that is literally not even brought up. It's like a non-issue. And I would just like character development for Poppy to stand up and be like, this is not right. You're the queen, and that is not gonna like shut up what I need to say to you right now, because I have had that happen to me my whole life. So like big character development.
I actually highlighted like what she said because I thought it was so powerful.
Yes, let's hear it.
She's like, it's over because not only is lecturing Castile irrelevant. Wow.
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Let me try that again. Words are hard.
Right
There's
after
a lot of
I'm
pressure
like,
when you're reading from the book, man.
scorn? Irrelevant?
I hate you guys. Okay.
It's like an incarcerated again.
Fuck, I know. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Now you have so much pressure to say this whole quote and not mess it up.
Irrelevant. Okay, let me try again. It's over not only it's over because not only is lecturing Castile irrelevant and serves no purpose other than to imply he's guilty of something, when in reality it's your people are the only ones who are guilty. She says, my chin lifted a notch, but also because it's a rather repetitive, tiresome conversation at this point. And I just put mic fucking drop.
Literally, it was so good.
Yes.
It was
Shut up.
huge.
I feel like, I don't think I noted it at this point, but I think later on, she, again, is like, again, only happened because your people.
Yes.
And I'm like, yes!
Like, don't let it go,
finally!
because exactly. These people need to
Beat that drum.
yes. Like, we will not be upset. Also, I thought it was kind of to add to them standing up for themselves. Cass snapped at his dad for him calling Poppy the maiden.
Yes.
And I was just like, yes, Cass. It was such a moment to me that proved that both Poppy and Cass were ready to be king and queen. They were not afraid to say their thoughts to the current king and queen. And it was less of a parent and child conversation between Cass and his dad and more of a leader talking to somebody in a leadership position. The way he said, like, what you said does not happen again. And I loved him for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, defend his woman, man.
Yeah.
We stand a supportive man.
Literally.
We really do.
Loved it.
And then I loved this part. I wrote this down. So Cass's mom is saying that it's not Poppy's fault or Cass's what was done to Poppy. Because, like, she's kind of says to her, like, I don't blame you for this. Like, I don't think this is your fault. And she was kind of surprised by that. And she's like, she wants to say how sorry she is for everything that happened. And she says that her and King Valen are both very happy that she's standing there with her son. And then I put, this is my first time, God, I love her.
No, I was like, yeah, okay. That's what I would say too if I was an evil
But Poppy
me.
can sense the sincerity in her words.
She did with Alistair too, though.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like, I feel like I can't trust anything anymore. I'm like, they want us to like her, so I'm like, I do not think
Guys
I
are
like
just
her.
a bunch of ninny muggins.
I won't deny that, honestly. I hope
Yeah.
that I hope that she's trustworthy.
I
That's all I can say.
hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, me too.
But until I'm proven wrong.
So, at this point, Cass's mom is now starting to explain the children of the deity, and I find it interesting because they're in theory explaining how Poppy came to be, and I thought it was just kind of interesting that we're getting Poppy's origin story almost, but from someone else that isn't Poppy. But they're explaining how they were mortal people, these children of the deity, but that they also had abilities that were just like Poppy's. And that's what Poppy was before she was ascended, right? She was 100% mortal, but she had all of these powers. They mentioned that they were stronger, the powers, if the other parent was Atlantean. And it's also making me start to think again about the first maiden. And for a long time, I feel like I was on the bandwagon that there was no first maiden. I thought that was totally made up. And they were just trying to, scare her into submission, basically. But I'm starting to think that it is very possible now that they did have another one of these children before Poppy. Because, I get that it's okay, the chance of Poppy being alive, but they're talking as if there were many of these deity having children with possible Atlanteans. And I get that Alistair was hunting them down. What I don't know for sure is, was he hunting every child of a deity down or just Malek's? Because I thought from this point it was Malek's children that he was
I think it
hunting
was
down.
anyone with deity blood, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I think
So
anyone.
even if it was anyone, he missed Poppy, so he very well
Mhm.
could have missed some others. So it's making me think maybe the first maiden was potentially real. And what's also interesting is that I feel like them saying that her, it makes your power stronger if it was an Atlantean. So it kind of starts thinking who could her mom have been, right? It had to have been an Atlantean person. And
I think
yeah,
that's kind
it
of what
was-
they're hinting at. Her mother must have been,
yeah,
because her power is so strong, and typically that will only happen. Obviously, she's got deity blood, she's going to be strong, but
yes,
the power is
exactly.
if
If it was
the other
a strong
parent is also
Atlantean.
an Atlantean.
Yeah.
I actually had a thought on that. I'm trying to. I just lost it. Oh
You're
my
trying
God.
to put it together. I don't know. You're like, nope, it's gone forever.
Oh, so I firmly believe there's another maiden. I just feel like we've heard about it too much. There's no way it's just like a throwaway. I feel like
Yeah.
it's going to come into play somehow. I've kind of always been on that track though. But what I wondered is because if I remember correctly, no one knows Nykdos's kids.
Oh, I have
correct?
so
It's
many
kind
theories
of
about this. Yes.
it's kind of like a secret. So, and we know he has 2 kids,
Correct.
and one of those kids obviously went on to have Malek, correct? Because
Well,
Malek is the grandson of Nykdos.
possibly.
That's the theory.
I think so, yes. I have some theories that aren't that, but I think
don't
that
remember.
is what we are led to believe is that Malek had 2 children. There's
Yes.
these like cats. They're
No.
Sorry,
Nykdos had 2
Nykdos.
children.
Sorry. Nykdos
Yes.
had 2 children. They're depicted as these like cats in a photograph, and they said
Yes.
yes, nobody knows their names. Correct.
Or Nykdos's like partner, like they don't know.
Correct. And I mean, they have said that Malek is a descendant of Nykdos, but I don't know if he's the direct descendant. Like,
It says grandson because when they tell her that she's Malek's like
Daughter.
kid,
Yeah.
that would
Mhm.
essentially make her the great granddaughter of Nykdos. Like it says that.
so if that's the case, does that mean that Queen Iloana would have met
That
the
was what I
god?
was
Like,
wondering too.
you would have your grandparents in your life, no?
like how
the
do
god,
you not know your in-laws?
right? They would be the god. It would be Nykdos.
Yeah. No, her in-laws when she was married to Malek would have been one of Nykdos's children that nobody knows. Because it goes
But
Nykdos, unnamed kids, Malek, and
Oh,
whoever
I thought
else.
you were saying Nykdos was Malek's dad. You're saying it's Malek's grandfather.
yes.
Got you. But yes, exactly. Like, you have to know where do those ancestors, like, where are those
Right.
in-laws in this
So
whole...
like Iloana
I mean, he
must
could
have
have had
met
a fake.
Malek's parents,
We could have had fake parents though.
I guess.
But, like, there's something is going to happen here. Like, we're going to
Yeah.
have to
But-
learn who these people are, right?
To loop back to there's no way we're not going to find out. We're going to find out.
Yeah.
But to loop back to my thought, so I think there is another maiden, and I wonder if she's like technically like a very far descended cousin of Poppy. Like maybe she's descended from the other
The
sibling,
other
child of
sibling's
Nykdos.
child. So she's
Yes.
the equivalent, like,
Yes.
heritage line,
Yes.
but from that other sibling.
Yes. Obviously, it'll
Interesting.
have to be like maybe like Malek's cousin or something because she lived so long ago, right? Like they don't know when she lived.
But it could be Malek's brother or sisters. Like, maybe they're not dead. Like, we say that they're all dead, all the
Yeah.
deities, but that's...
But I'm like, I wonder if they're related somehow. And like,
they would have
remember
to be,
when I thought
think.
like there was like like something living in her?
Yeah.
Like that's like maybe it's like family ties or I don't know.
Maybe.
I can't formulate it all in my brain yet, but I feel like there's a connection
There's
there.
something there.
Yeah.
And it's almost her, like, feeling the other one that's alive, maybe, or
Yes,
something.
Yeah. I
That's
don't
kinda cool.
know. Like they're channeling. I don't know. I don't know.
You're
There's
like,
something
I don't know,
there.
just something.
There's something there, and I want it on the table now, so I can
Right?
prove
So
I'm
that
right.
if it's true, we can say, yes, this is the date
You
that
want to
Katie
take
said
in your
this.
box.
Exactly.
I think around this, she's also like finally in her head, like, you know, my parents or my brother, they might not actually be like biologically mine, and I'm like, oh, finally, you're
Took
admitting
you
it.
long enough. Like,
Yeah.
I think like literally next chapter, she's like, but my brother or something, and I'm like, oh my god, you literally just accepted it 2
you're
sentences
like, we're
ago.
over this, Poppy.
But
What
he
do you
can still be
mean?
her brother, even if he's not her blood brother.
Yeah, so she like feels like so like, oh my god, he's not my biological brother. And I'm like, you like admitted that you knew that like last chapter.
And now you're like,
That's okay.
in denial again.
Yeah, it's just like you guys are like sisters to me. You're not biologically
Right?
sisters, but like
But we
that
can
doesn't
admit
matter.
this, yeah. She was really hung up on it.
Your kids are my nibblings. Like I don't care. I don't need all this time to go back and forth
Chris is
over
like,
it.
fuck your feelings, get over it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because she does get over it and then reverts back.
Yes.
Right? So she's like,
Well,
oh my gosh.
I mean, in Poppy's defense, it's like you two. I trust her. I don't trust her. I trust her. I don't
That's
trust her.
true. That's true.
So,
Cannot
wonderful.
deny.
All right, fair. I'll let you have that one.
Yeah, yeah.
So a note also regarding her lineage is that Cass's mom says that the children of the deity heal faster than most mortals, which also explains how Poppy survived the night that the Craven attacked. We were always just like, well, obviously it was because she's part Atlantean and they heal fast, but this is another just assumption that we had, and this is actually confirming that the reason is because she was a child of the deity and they were known to have these healing healing properties.
Yeah, it's kind of
and
like the
what have
first time it's confirmed on
you.
page.
Yes.
Like,
you
we
got
kind
it.
of always assumed it, but
Yeah.
validation right there.
Validation.
On
Someone hit
that,
check in their box. I was right.
God,
You two competitive people.
Such a good feeling.
we really do need a box, Amanda. You need to make like another.
I know.
checklist
I
thing
will. I
behind
was thinking
you.
like maybe next book series because I'll also
Yes.
feel some type of way because we're only doing it halfway, and I'll be like, what if I was right about those other things? And
Right.
now
yeah.
I can't get credit for it. So I'm like, let's just start clean slate at the next series
Our next book series.
because I'm a
is on.
psycho.
It's all like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with this.
Kristen's like, you are idiots.
Remember how you said we were like sisters to you? I can't take that
Do you
back.
still love us?
I just want both of you guys to have fun, okay?
I do have
Go
fun when I win.
I can't hear you from the victory circle.
Literally.
I'll get
I'm
you
gonna
both
live.
participation trophies.
No, thank you.
That's
I
the
want to have the
wussies.
only trophy because I
Yeah.
win and you lose.
There is those who win and those who lose.
Anywho, good old King Valen. Let's talk about that.
Oh my gosh.
So I made a note here that like King Valen is explaining those who carried the blood of the gods were often like warriors on the front lines, and he said like during the war most of them were either killed or they were taken captive by the Ascended. Once, quote unquote, the Ascended realized what their blood contained. And I'm like, how did they just know? Like, is this something they can sense? Did I miss that? Or is it like when they start killing them, they're like, that's good blood. I'm going to take this back with me.
That went way over my head, if I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I
Add
don't
to
know.
cart? Like, I don't know.
I literally did not. Yeah, that went over my head. I didn't even
Oh,
realize that was
all right.
what
You know.
happened.
Just me
I think I might have
hyper-focusing.
assumed that they just sensed it. Like Kieran can smell Poppy, you know.
Yeah, the
That
kind of
cedar
dealio.
scent of his.
But they
Yeah.
didn't sense it in Poppy. Like, Kieran
That's
had
true.
sensed, like, she smelt like death or something. But,
Oh,
like,
did he eventually? Yeah, like
the
ancient.
connection was never made to, like, deity, you know? Until the,
Yes.
like...
That's true.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
is
know.
it the Ascend? It's not Woven sensing the blood that you're talking about.
No,
is
it was the Ascended. It was the Ascended.
Yeah.
But you were just saying,
But,
you know,
like-
like how Kieran could...
Yeah, but like doesn't one of the Ascended when he has that, oh my god, what did we call him? Bastard 2.0?
Craven?
No, he was like an Ascended and he went and took Poppy from the village and he's like, "You smell so good, I can't resist." So like they knew. They could smell it.
That's
that's
true. Like,
true.
a better smelling blood.
Like when they were in that
Yeah.
carriage and he literally bit her and
Yes.
could not contain
She's
himself
like, "I
because
can't
her
resist."
scent was better than like
Yeah.
a typical person. Interesting.
okay, so
I forgot
maybe
about
they
that.
can notice it then.
Good call.
Yeah, I was just like, what do you mean you just took them all? And like people with god blood live forever. So if they took all of these captured, like what happened to all of those that have been captured?
Well, I don't think that they live forever. I think that they just have very,
Well, a very long
very
time
long
anyway.
lives.
Or they
But
drank
it
too
just
much
said
of
most
their
of them
blood
died in the
and-
war, and then Alistair started killing all their babies.
That's true.
It
That's
didn't,
true.
So, yeah.
So I made a note here. I'm just going to read it. It says, not even the children of a deity and an Atlantean had abilities that manifested so strongly in them as they have for you. What you did in the chambers is not something something that not even the most powerful elemental Atlantean can do. So this is kind of like when you look like you want to say
Yeah.
something.
So I'm realizing now, in hindsight of, I guess, just re-listening to that, I thought to myself, well, it makes sense because she was like ascended, and that's what made her more strong. But what she did in the temple happened before that.
Mhm.
So I'm only now, like, in some of my theories, I think that she's not a deity and that she is a god.
Really?
Yes. And this is making me feel more leaning towards those theories because they're saying nobody has ever had them as strong as you. So that's just in my head. I'm like, oh, I didn't catch that because I thought it was because of her being ascended, but this was before then. But yeah, like I feel like she's a god or goddess, or she is Nykdos's one of those two cat children in the pictures. I very
Oh.
strongly believe.
And like she's reincarnated, or
Oh, that's where it's
Like-
hard. I think that she's either a reincarnated god, or I think that she is a direct child of Nykdos. And I think we're getting the story right of how she's Malek's son
Mhm.
or daughter, sorry. But again, it's not 100% confirmed. This is all like, this is what happened. This is where Malek was. So it could make sense that you're his daughter.
And they're kind of judging based on the looks too,
yes.
right? Like, oh, you have his hair, you have
it's
whatever.
Still not for sure. And
Yeah.
I think she's a closer link to Nyktos being like direct child. And she's one of those two animals because she saw one of those cats in the castle when she was there. And Castiel was like, no, you didn't. And she's like, yes, I did. And a part of me is like, was that
about
and
that.
was that the first maiden? I have another whole theory about that, and that maybe
that's a whole other side.
Yeah,
quest.
and I almost don't even want to get into it because I have it in notes. But in short, I think that maybe that was the first maiden, and now she's like the second. I don't know, but anyways, we'll get to that as the notes go. But I really believe
That's a
she's
good theory.
goddess.
That
or
is a good theory. I
one of
forgot about
Nyktos.
that.
I'm excited.
Because if that is one of Nyktos' children, which they say it is, arguably, how could that be there? Just like, how could she be here and she is? So,
Interesting.
So yeah, that comment of her being more powerful is
Okay, I just had a
more-
thought.
Go, let's hear it.
It's like I didn't go.
It's not a fully formed thought.
It's okay. They never are.
Okay. So I was editing episode 2 today, and we were talking about in episode 2, we were talking about how changelings are like, I forget the exact wording. It was like changelings are a descendant from a wolven and a deity, which in episode 2 we're
really?
like, this proves our point. But it was not proving our point because we were talking about something completely different. But I'm like, this proves a point now, though. Like,
Interesting.
so
I don't
if,
remember that.
let's say, hypothetically, your theory is correct, and she is a child of Nyktos. What if her mother was a wolven, which makes her a changeling? And what if these cats are like their changeling form that she can like change in and out of? And so her sister or whatever
Getting goosebumps.
is like still in the cat form. Not
Forcibly.
it's not
Maybe-
fully formed.
forcibly,
I gotta write this out.
Okay, but also what's interesting about that is how many times does Poppy comment on how she's jealous she's not a changeling? Like
right?
she has
A
this
lot.
like changelings are like the best kind, and like I feel like there's like some.
I really
she
wish I could
wishes-
change. Why can't I
Yes.
change?
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was kind of disappointed to learn that she couldn't. And a part of my theory of this other cat is that the Ascended have done something to keep it in this form.
Oh, like trap it in that form?
Yes. I think that,
Oh.
and okay, I'm going to really jump towards, but I think that
Yeah,
the
full send.
Revenant is something that they've done to this cat. I think that they have been doing experiments or things, trying to ascend it, trying to what have you, and they have created a monster out of it. That's one of my theories that I'll get
Oh,
into further.
shit.
But I
Dang.
also think it might be the first maiden. Anywho,
There's a few possibilities.
just put that in there.
Anyway, that
I'm
one
only
just came
jealous
to
I
me.
didn't come up with that one.
Oh yeah, I mean it was good.
Kristen.
I think I literally was just like, some people have stronger magic than others.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Moving on.
In all fairness, half of the theory that I just came up with, I only thought about now. But the cat part, it was a whole thing. But in reading this, I thought, oh, of course she's stronger. Cass tried to ascend her, and I moved on. Where now I'm like, okay, she was actually stronger
Yeah.
before that.
I was just like, some people have stronger magic. Some people, some people have stronger sense,
Of
like taste of smell
Yeah.
or whatever. Not taste,
Taste
of smell.
of smell.
Yes.
Wow.
Now we have all said something that made
We've
no
all
sense.
fucked up in this episode.
My
Sense
taste of
of
smell.
smell.
My taste of smell.
I'm going to use that from now on.
Anyway.
Also, I had a note. I think I skipped it. I'm sorry. It's nothing major, but the queen, like Iluana, is asking Poppy if she's sure that like Ian actually had ascended, and like, I still don't fully believe he did, even though we saw him and he has the black eyes.
I believe
I'm
you
like,
did.
I don't know. There's something there. I don't
Contact
know.
lenses.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's a
Hmm.
really good actor and has contact lens. I don't know. I can't explain why, but I just have a feeling. I have a feeling it's not what we're being led to believe. But
Could.
she
I have a
straight up
crock-pot
asked
theory about
him,
it.
like, are you sure that he actually ascended? And I'm like, this has to mean something. Like, why is that thrown in there?
Maybe there's like a
Unless
world.
it's just the queen trying to make Poppy like trust her
Yeah,
because she
she's
doesn't.
evil.
She has something, to not be trustworthy over.
Not evil. She's my friend.
But maybe there's a world in which he hasn't ascended because let's say they are, I don't know if I think that they're related, but let's say he's Atlantean or something. So maybe they are forcing him to fake that he's Atlantean, even in some way, shape, or form. To I don't know what. I'm just trying to help your theory, but I've lost.
What if he is a changeling too?
What if he
And
is?
he's changing to look like an ascended to fool them, so he can take them down from the inside. Just thought of that.
I think that's a stretch. No.
Well, you know what?
Listen here, Miss Pessimism.
A stretch, but it kind of checks out. Like it could be a thing.
Yeah.
It could be. I will.
When
I'm
I'm right,
3% chance.
Kristen, I will be mic dropping the shit out of this microphone.
If you're right, I'll get you
When?
a thing from Dairy Queen Blizzard. That the thing.
Ooh.
The
Score,
thing
please.
that they sell there.
Scored the win. Get it? Sorry. Then I had a
Oh my
note
gosh.
here, like Cass is like reaffirming to Poppy that even though she shares the abilities and like the looks of Malek, like he doesn't care. Like that doesn't mean anything to him. Like she's still Poppy. And then Kieran chimes in and is like, neither do the Wolven. And I'm like, oh, look at them. It's so cute.
Oh, happy little family.
Yeah. It's so cute. So the queen says, like, made a comment here and she's like, you even kind of look like him. Like you have a lot of Malek's features, like his hair color, and like it even had some red with brown in it. And Poppy responds, she's like, but everyone's always said I look like my mom. Like that's kind of been the running thing here. Like, well, my mom must be my mom because everyone says I look like my mom. And then she says, well, who has told you that? And then she said, well, Queen Ileana, like the bad queen. So is this just like more lies?
I
bad
felt
queen.
that was a thing too. It was
Yeah.
almost like if we're going to say that Malek is her dad and we're going to say like, yes, this is true. It was almost like it was, and I think I might say this somewhere else in one of my theories, because it's almost like the Ascended didn't want her to have any thought whatsoever that could be her dad, that they were just like, you look like your mom, you look like your mom, or you look like, so that there was never any thought if she might resemble her dad, when in reality, if Malek is her dad, she very resembles him.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting that we're just trying to not compare her to her father in any way.
I might say this next chapter because of the trigger warning, but I did have a thought about that.
Okay.
Okay, we can jump into it because I think we're just about done
Yeah, we're just about done this chapter. Sorry. I have one more note. I know, me with too many notes. We're shocked. We're so shocked.
Okay.
So King Valen made a comment to her. He's like, there's no way that the ones that you believe to be your parents are who you remember them to be. And the first time I read that, I was like, oh, okay. So like neither of her parents are her parents. But then when I was thinking about it as I was typing out my notes, I'm like, does this mean that none of them are? Or is it more like they're not what you believed they are? Like they're not mortals. Like maybe he's like hinting at
like
maybe there's something
they're not
more.
who you remember them to be because they were pretending to be mortal and they were
Right.
pretending to be this, where your
Right.
parents were your parents, but they were
Right.
Atlantean or they were
Right. Like,
Interesting.
obviously, I don't think her dad is her dad because I think it's going to be coming from Nyktos, unless her dad is like Malek in hiding or something. I don't know.
or Nyktos in
Disguise.
or what do you call that when you like take over someone's body?
Possessing someone?
Yes, I don't know if that could be a thing
Yeah.
in this world, but who
Yeah.
knows?
I
But
think
I'm
you'd
like,
miss, like the biological.
Yeah, I
point
guess
of
that's
the
true.
god,
The
though.
whole point that you need, yeah. Good call.
the science.
Science rules.
Quit poking holes in my theory. I'm like, oh crap.
I know, man and I are like blowing these big balloons and Chris is like, pop, pop, pop,
Because
pop,
we're
pop.
like
To
being
be
so
fair-
crazy with them.
To be fair, I probably only thought of the science behind that because of like my son was IVF, so science.
That's true.
I really immersed myself in that world for a while.
You're like, I know how genetics and this all works, you guys. Like, I'm a
You
pro.
fucking idiots.
So no, you can't possess someone and then they get your qualities.
I mean, maybe you can. Maybe she makes that a rule in her thing.
Can you imagine
Anyway.
if that is what happens here? Is that Nyktos was possessing a random person? Like that would be the most far-fetched thing to come true. But
But when I'm
knows?
right,
right, who knows?
I'll also get you a blizzard. Actually, no,
don't score
'cause you don't have
blizzards for
dairy.
me. Let's go for the hat trick.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway.
Okay, and then the big finale moment.
Malek is her dad.
Sorry, I was
Kristen's
really
notes
slow on
were
that. I
all
was
in
like, "Are you going to
caps.
say it?" But
Kristen's
it's
notes were all in
us.
caps. I'm like,
Yes,
she's got to take
she
this
does.
one.
She does. Okay, I have like a very large paragraph to discuss about this. So we are receiving what I'm calling almost confirmation that Malek is Poppy's father, because still it isn't 99.9, like it's not 100%. They're just saying this is probably what has happened. But anyways, I think it's interesting because if we are theorizing that maybe, I think we were, that she was further down the line. Like I think we thought that she was like somehow related to Niktos, right? Before this, we're just getting, we'll call it confirmation, but not that she's Malek's child. But we thought she was like Malek's great something.
Yeah.
But let's assume that this is true because she looks just like him. Considering this resemblance, I think it's also interesting that, I don't know if I'm saying this right, Queen Ileana, is that the bad queen?
Yeah, I think so.
It's interesting because she was the one, oh, here's my note. She was the one that was trying to convince Poppy that she looks so much like her mother. And now we have to remember at this point that the Queen of Solis previously mentioned that she was Poppy's grandmother.
Oh,
so
I forgot about
it's
that.
interesting that
Wait!
it's interesting.
Okay, go, because you might say it. You go.
It's interesting that she is trying to tell Poppy, no, you look like your mother. You look like your mother. I'm your grandmother. And I probably don't say what you're saying. I was trying to wrap my head around understanding this, because if the queen is her grandmother and if Malek is her father, then Malek is the queen's son potentially, or no, in-laws, right? And does this make the queen a god? Like, is the queen a god if she's, because where Poppy sits in this is that the god is above Malek, right? There's Malek and then there's Poppy. And if the queen is her great-grandmother, would that make her a deity or a god? Or I guess the queen...
No, they said the queen was her grandmother.
Which makes her one above where Malek is.
Yes.
Right? So
yes.
The queen...
That's where I was going.
The queen could be...
Niktos' daughter!
No, I wasn't going there, but oh my
That's
God.
where I was going.
One of the two.
Yes!
Oh my God. And they have her sister captive. Oh no, wait, she has, no, she has her own sister captive.
I mean, she's evil. She could.
Interesting. Because Poppy...
Sorry, that's why I got so excited.
So maybe the mother... So the queen could be... Oh my God. This is so... Like, it's so hard for me to wrap my head around, because the queen could be her, Poppy's, mother's mom, right? That's what we're thinking right now. So maybe the mother Poppy knew was her mother because it was the queen's daughter or something, what they're leading us to believe, but she was Atlantean. So that would give the like good blood that would need to make Poppy so powerful. And that would make sense that the queen would be her grandmother then, because the queen's daughter had the baby with Malek.
Because nobody knows what Niktos' kids look like. We don't even know if they're daughter or son, right? We just know kids.
Nope.
They don't know.
So what if it's Niktos, Evil Queen, Malek, Poppy?
Or what if the evil queen just lied?
I mean, yes,
Poppy, come back and love me.
Very well. I just feel like there's got to be
grandmama.
something to it, because it happened so long ago. And she's like, I'm your grandmother. And the hubby's like, okay, I don't care. And then we move on. Like, but I don't think that... I can't decide if I think that the grandmother is in relation to Malek. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think
Like, you
that
don't think
maybe
it's
there's
Malek's
like
mom?
Niktos, Malek, and blah, blah, blah. And then there's the queen, blah, blah, blah. And then
Like
they...
through the mom side.
Yes, and then they are like the spawn, as how Poppy happened.
The spawn!
The spawn, I know. I'm like, what am I saying? But also, and maybe the fact that Malek was then exiled from Atlantean, his mother... Like, maybe this is why they're trying to, like, get their kingdom back, right? Because Malek was wrongfully taken from the Atlantean kingdom.
Or if she is the daughter of Niktos, she's like, bitch, that's my fucking crown.
Literally. And she said, you have done what I have been trying to do, or something.
Yeah. Because if she were to claim it, she would have to show who she was.
That's true.
Yeah. I have thoughts,
There's
but
so much.
I'll wait.
Please, say thoughts.
Well, we
Let's
have to
go to the
get? We have
next
to get to
chapter.
the next chapter.
Okay.
We have to get to the next chapter.
So let's end this off, Katie.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, chapter ends. The sympathy that radiated from the queen nearly choked me. Malek had to have been your father, Penelope. Dun, dun, dun. So we find out that Malek must be Poppy's biological father.
So to start chapter 27, we just want to start off with a trigger warning because we do discuss sexual assault, sexual abuse, and rape. So if you would like to skip chapter 27 here, you can take a look in our episode notes and we'll timestamp the exact time that chapter 28 starts. So you can just jump right back into chapter 28. So the chapter starts, and I will read it off. I stared at Castile's parents, caught in a cyclone of confusion and disbelief. I wanted to stand, but Castile still held onto my hand tightly. And where could I go? This is Poppy's reaction to hearing that Malek is her biological father.
So kind of like I didn't think this in the moment, but kind of going back to what we've all been discussing, like if Nyktos and then Evil Queen and then Poppy's mom, like if that is true and like it's kind of hinted that maybe then she's Atlantean or not ascended, like I feel like I kind of got that idea like originally when we found out she was a grandmother. I'm like, oh, so is she like just an Atlantean
Kind of
hiding as an
pretending,
ascended
yeah.
kind of idea? But
Mhm.
like if that's true and if Poppy's mom is her mom, which I think is still possible, like I think it's also entirely possible that Poppy's mom's mother, so Evil Queen, could have made her own daughter like be raped by Malek.
Oh.
Honestly, I wouldn't
Like
put anything past these people at this point.
yeah.
And they found Malek, and then they're like, this is what you're doing. Because
You have to.
Yeah.
Like, or she, like, if Malek was, like, crazed and out of his mind, like, who knows what he's going to do? She might have just locked her own daughter in
knowing
a
that
thing
he
with
would just take
Malek
advantage of
and
her.
been like, yes, because I want that kid. I want the kid that they're going to have.
And honestly, Malek, I could see, even if he was in his right mind, would potentially do that because he wants to get back at the Atlantean. So even if the daughter did not want to, putting her somewhere where Malek is, like, that's probably what's going to happen, regardless at this point.
And
how fucked
just
up
thought
is
of this.
that?
Yeah. Just thought of this going in, like, if she is Atlantean or ascended with some type of power, like, maybe she can control, not control emotions, but, like, feed emotions kind of idea. Like, she could, like, maybe she kind of did that to Poppy and that's how she groomed her. Like, oh, like, here you go, Poppy. And she, like, made her feel like these like, oh, yes, thank you. Like, I'm so grateful
right?
for
She
you.
was so
And she
in
could
love
have
with
done
the
the same
queen.
to, yes.
You're right.
And she could have done that to her daughter and been like, yeah, you're going to, like, fall in love with Malek. And maybe there was the potential that she was able to do the same to Malek.
Shit.
And
like force their...
Yep.
That's interesting.
Maybe
because
that's how she got out of the ascension.
Well, she had such a hard time believing that the queen could be bad. Like, she was like, but the queen I knew. And it's like, yeah, but she could literally have forced you to feel really great things about her the whole time you knew her. That's interesting. I never even considered something like that. That's very interesting.
That's so fucked. Like,
Heavy
as
note.
a mom of a daughter, there's no fucking way.
I mean, and they're literally killing babies and drinking their blood. Like, these people, there is nothing that is beyond their decision making at this point.
Oh, so I made a note here. King Valen is saying that given how strong Poppy's abilities are, there's just no way that either of her parents could have been mortal. Like, he's not saying they're not your parents, but like they weren't mortal if they were. And then Queen Ileana says that, and there's also no way Poppy would have ever been mortal because of how strong her powers
are. The only thing I have to say to that is that there was a point when she was like ascended, whatever happened to her, that she asked, like, am I Atlantean? I'm ascended. Either Poppy or Kieran said, I'm not sure what you are, but I can tell now you're not, like, you no longer smell mortal. Like, and that kind of makes it seem like, well, you were. They could tell she was, and now they can tell she wasn't. And that was the only thing they said.
Like, they noticed the difference.
That they could tell. Like, I can now tell you're not mortal. And I remember thinking that in this point, that it was like, well, were they wrong then? That she was always never mortal? Who knows?
Interesting.
I think after...
I just found it in the Kindle because I'm like, now I need to read it. Did I write that down right? But it literally says, I inhaled sharply. What? Like when he says that neither of her parents could have been mortal. And then she says, there's simply no way that you were ever mortal, Queen Ileana said, her gaze searching mine. That doesn't mean that the mother you knew isn't your mother. It just means that she was never mortal. But it says that there's no way you were ever mortal. So I don't know.
Maybe they were wrong when they were
Interesting.
smelling the mortalness on her. I don't know, but they definitely said that. So
Snail
also,
is mortal.
that's a mortal one, that is. Oh, God.
Mud blood.
Just as I embarrass myself here, literally. It's like, not anymore. I can smell you. And
Oh,
you
I think
smell
right
like
after they
magic.
say that too, she's like, "But it's my mom," and I'm like, "Jesus fucking Christ, we just
went over this.
went
your
over this,
feelings."
Poppy." It's not even her feelings. I'm like, she can still be your mother. Like,
Right?
she still raised you. She's still your
Exactly.
mother.
That's all that
The
matters.
biology
like-
it's just the science isn't there, and science isn't a thing in these times.
It's like she admitted that Ian might not be biologically hers. And now she's like, wait, but my mom too? It's like,
Yeah.
come on, lady.
I'm like,
like,
literally, like,
You're a descendant from a god at this point, or deity. Like, that's as crazy as it can get. Like,
I love how you guys are like, yeah. And I'm like, I mean, I fucking get it, man. I'd be like the fuck too. I'd be clinging to all that shit.
I guess if
I
you think
think-
about that, she's trying to cling on to any part of her previous life that was
Yeah.
hers. But I'm just like, everything was a lie at this point. So I'd be like, well, of
Yeah.
course it was. I'll move on.
Chalk
funny.
that one up to another list.
So at this point, we find out, this makes me so mad. We find out that Cass's parents knew what Alistair was doing, and they continued to let it happen.
Slight
So-
correction. They knew after it happened, I thought.
No. They learned.
No.
Sorry, that was so rude of me.
Shot down.
But no, I'm almost. I'm like, absolutely not. I'm very mad at this, and if I find out I'm mad for no reason,
All right, go off.
I will be
Queen. Go
embarrassed.
off. Go
But
off, Queen.
No, I'm pretty sure they said we learned what he was doing, and then we didn't stop him from continuing to do it. So they didn't know until they knew, but when they knew, they didn't stop it, and he continued to do it until Poppy killed him. Like, he never stopped doing what he was doing. I think. That's my understanding, and this is my note based on that.
Okay, you go off.
Okay.
You go off.
So I put, oh no! I was just thinking to myself about how clearly their parents had no idea that Alistair was freaking murdering descendants of Malek, but now we're learning that they freaking knew, and he was still their advisor after this point. So
Yes.
So even if they found out and they were like, okay, stop this, the fact that they didn't do that and that he still remained an advisor is so sus and very messed up. Because, like, I wonder if they were cool with it because of how much they hate Malek. So they were like, you know what, go after all of Malek's descendants. We hate him so much and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure Alistair could come up with some stupid reason to convince them as to why he was doing the noble and the right thing, because those are the same reasons that he gave to the unseen. They're the same reasons that he has given to all of his followers as to why what is happening with the unseen is okay. Like, he literally is saying, like, this is why Poppy is dangerous. And not just Poppy, everything that is equal to Poppy, all the other children. He's like, this is dangerous. It's not good for Atlantia. The king and queen are like, all right, we'll turn a blind eye. But that's what's happening right now. The unseen is coming after Poppy because everyone turned a blind eye to that and let people believe it. And I'm super not happy about it because I don't feel like, how are they any different than the unseen? The people in the unseen believe Alistair's message, therefore they're doing what they're doing. They believed Alistair's message or beliefs in killing off these children. And from my understanding, they let him keep doing it.
I don't think, I was just trying to find it in the Kindle when you were
Ranting.
talking there.
Going
I
off.
don't think it mentions that they knew of the other children, that they only knew of what, like, I don't think they knew about the unseen and all that shit. I don't think.
No, I don't think they knew about the unseen, but I'm just relating the fact that
Yeah.
the reason, the justification Alistair gave to the king and queen as to why he tried to kill Poppy and those children. The
Mhm.
reason was because they're a big threat to Atlantia. Something terrible could happen if they grow into power and become like the deities, and then their power gets, they get bored of their power. That's the reason. And then he also gave that reason to the unseen and those followers, and that's why they're rising up to kill Poppy. I don't think that his parents knew about the unseen. but they're the same justification Alistair gave to both of those people. So it's like,
I see.
how is
Yeah.
that any different when you were okay with it to turn a blind eye, but now you're not? Like, I have a hard time with all
Maybe
of
I
that.
misunderstood because when I was reading it, I read that
I'm going to see if I can find it.
Alistair essentially told them what he did regarding Poppy and Poppy's family. I didn't realize he had also said it about all the other children he's been hunting down. I thought they found out about that like after all of this shit went down with Alistair now.
Because even, like, let's say that they didn't find out until after, right? Or the very last child he tried to kill, let's say, was Poppy, and then they found out after that point, and then he never tried to kill anyone again. They still kept him on as the advisor.
Yes.
And that
which is fucked
still
up.
is problematic to me. Like, I'm
Yes.
still like,
It's still like, you did this awful thing, but
mass murder of children.
whatevs.
And they're like, well, I guess it was
Oh,
for the
well.
greater good. And it's like, you can't say that and then
Harry
be
Potter
mad at the
reference.
unseen. You can't.
Which is, again, another thing if they're playing, Alistair playing God, and they're like, go ahead, play God.
It's that.
Okay.
I think that's a part why I'm really still super suspicious, because I was just like, I'm going to try to find it, though, as we go
I
into
think
our
I found
notes.
it here, Amanda.
Okay.
So Castile says, how, he demanded raggedly, how could either of you continue a friendship with that bastard after knowing what he did? And then Poppy says, that was an excellent question. His father's chest rose with a heavy breath because we thought that he was acting in the best interests of Atlantia.
See?
And
That's
then
problematic.
he allowed a child to be attacked by Craven, snarled Castile. How the fuck is that in the best interests of Atlantia? Because Malek was gone and you showed no interest in, Malek? How does he say the brother's name? It's not
Malik.
Is it Malek?
and Malek?
Or is he
I don't
Malek?
know.
I think it's Malek and Malek, but I don't know which one's which.
Who is
and they're
this who?
way
Okay, well,
too
anyway,
similar.
we're talking about brother.
Why would you name your child so close to your hated?
Literally. Your ex.
Anyways,
Same with the two queens.
right? Very confusing.
Honestly. For real. Anyway, because Malek was gone and you show no interest in taking the crown, and a descendant of Malek, raised among the ascended, cared for by the handmaiden of the blood crown, would have been able to claim the throne, his mother said, and I felt Castile flinch. And even not knowing the extent of the blood that she carried in her, there was no way that Alistair or either of us believed it to be a coincidence that the handmaiden was masquerading as the mother of a child who was the heir to Atlantia. So then it says, like, masquerading as mother, because they're talking about how Poppy's mom is pretending to be the mother. So it's definitely fucked up. It's definitely fucked up.
Because they're like,
But-
well, we let it because we didn't want Malek's child coming to power. That's what the unseen think right now.
But
They don't want.
I think they thought Poppy actually died, which is still fucked up.
Yeah, which they were okay with because she could have been the Malek's heir, and that's a danger. And that's exactly what the unseen is doing. This is Malek's heir. That's
Yeah.
dangerous. We're going to kill her. It's just that she's older now. There's no difference, in my opinion, anyways. Like,
No, it's the same. They're thinking the same thing.
right? It's the same thought process.
yeah.
It's just like, oh, we know you now and you're a good person. And it's like,
Yeah.
she was always a good person. Like, so I don't know. I'm having a very hard time with this.
So this, I'm just reading on. So the mom says, Castile says, and you truly think you hold no responsibility in this? And she says, no, we do. We didn't like what was done, but we did not disagree with it. And that is something that we've lived with since then and will continue to live with. So I guess you're right. She's admitting, like, yeah. I must have read over that. I don't know.
We don't
I
disagree
didn't pick
with
up
it.
on that.
Then you don't disagree with the unseen.
Right.
Like, I just can't understand that. And maybe I'm not totally understanding it all, but sure as shit sounds exactly what they're saying
Yeah.
to me. But seems a little
Yeah,
soft.
and
I
then
think,
their
like-
justification is the king says, well, there's many things you're going to have to do that will turn your stomach and haunt your dreams, but you're just going to have to live with it, like when he becomes
Yeah.
king.
I'm pretty sure
Anyway,
he's like,
I
not murder
definitely
babies, but
did not take that in when I was reading it the first time. Your anger is justified.
Thank you.
Not that you need my justification, but there it is.
It makes me feel less stupid. There's that.
And like, I think while all of this is happening too, she mentions, I think before they actually admit, yeah, we knew and we didn't disagree with it. Poppy mentions that she couldn't quite place this strange sensation, a fleeting emotion that was sour and yet tangy, but she has no idea who it's coming from
Interesting.
or
Oh, interesting.
if
I
she'd
didn't
even
pick up
really
on that.
felt it. Yeah. So I'm like, what is it and who is it coming from?
Who dis and what dis?
right?
I need more details. Because even she's not sure. And she's always like, this is like lilacs. It's like this. Or
Yeah.
this is like
And she'll say, it's
the
lilac,
cedar tree.
like uncertainty. It's this, which means
Yes.
this. But this time she was
It's
like,
lemon
what
and
is this?
sour.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she mentions sour here, but it's not like the lemon
Labeled,
sour.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Hmm,
And that
I
it
didn't
doesn't
pick up on
mention
that.
who it's coming from. Like, that's very interesting.
Like,
Yeah,
it
normally
almost
she
makes
can
me
tell.
reading over it now and going through like what we were talking about, it almost makes me wonder if it's almost coming from like Valen and he's like trying to tamper down his emotions, but he doesn't fully have it in place. So she's getting like a hint of
Because
it,
she mentioned
but
he
not
was
enough that she
trying
can
to-
like pick up on it.
Yeah, because he's been trying
Like
to
it's
hold it in,
sneaking
right?
through his defense.
Yes.
That's very interesting.
That is
I think you may
interesting.
be
I
onto
didn't pick
that.
up on that.
Okay, so Kieran jumps into the conversation around this point, and two things. I thought it was just, I just love the way that he bluntly joins I kind of forgot he was there. Like all of a sudden it was like Kieran like jumps in and he asks like,
Hello.
how could
Hi
literally
dear.
how could Malek be Poppy's daughter, since that would have had to have happened 19 years ago? Like, is he not dead? So I found it, I liked that Kieran jumped in just in a like defensiveness to Poppy, and for him to, again, similar to like what Poppy and Cass did previously, where he's like, this isn't right. Like, he had that voice to stand up and challenge what was being told, and he didn't just kind of sit back and let what was being said be said. But I did find it a little unnerving the way that Cass's mom, so it explained at this point, he's like, isn't Malek dead? And then it's like, she stands up and she slowly walks over to this credenza and she grabs a decanter and like, she's just like pouring a glass of wine as all of this conversation is happening. And I felt very uneasy about her doing that. Like, I thought she was going to like snap. I thought it just seemed like a really weird time with a question being asked like that for her to just like walk up and do something. So I started getting really suspicious of her at that point. And
Do you
Yeah.
know what I took from that?
let's hear it.
Just having a
I'm
hard
like,
day.
I need a fucking drink to deal with this.
Oh man, I was like, oh God, this is so
I think I was the same. I'm
suspicious.
like, oh, that's a lot to deal with.
Like,
No,
yeah,
I was
before I
like-
answer this one, I'm gonna need a shot of something strong.
That's hilarious. No, I was super sus.
Sorry to interrupt your monologue there.
Nope, it's okay. I was just the most sus.
She also mentions like right in this, they're like at the end of the chapter, they're like, there's no other possibility. Malek must be your dad. This chapter, it's impossible that he sired a child 19 years ago. Or like, you
so
just
which is it?
yeah. I'm like, It wasn't even like Poppy's like, oh, Malek's my dad. It's like the king being like, yeah, Malek's your dad, and then the queen's like, actually, it's impossible. I'm like, do y'all not like communicate? Like,
Yeah,
what's
it's like,
happening
oh, let me
here?
just tell you this news story, and it's like, what are you talking about, people?
I'm so confused.
very confused.
The back and
What is
forth.
going on?
It was very back and forth here, right? Like someone says this, and then they
Yes.
think this, and then they're like, never mind. It's like, what is happening here?
But wait,
But wait,
Um,
there's more.
So another crockpot theory here.
I
So
love
at this
crockpots.
point, I'm just gonna read my notes because these notes came out as I was experiencing it. Oh my God, is freaking Malek in hiding? Because at this point, I don't think we were told yet that the queen had him in the bone shackles, but she just says that Malek is your father. But we're like, how? This doesn't make sense. So I put, oh my God, is freaking Malek in hiding right now so that everybody else thinks he is dead? But then in reality, to get back at the queen for exiling him, he decided to go get Cass as a blood bank. And now he has Cass's brother, all in revenge. Is he literally going after those two children to spite the fact that their mom threw him away from the throne? He's literally targeting her own children. And that's why she feels all of this sorrow all the time. Because even though it's not her fault, her kids are their source of blood, but she feels guilty that it's why her children are now being used as the Ascended's blood bag. It's like Malek's sick and twisted way of getting revenge. Also, have we ever been told how Cass got caught by the Ascended in the first place and how he became their blood bank? Am I totally...
Cass did?
Yeah.
yeah.
Am I like forgetting that? Or were we ever told? We were told he was there. But how did he
I
get
don't
caught?
think
Captured?
we're
I
told
remember him saying
how.
it was because he did something stupid. I
Yeah.
remember that.
We don't know, do we?
I think
don't
we
think we
did
know-
find out, but I don't remember what it is right now.
Okay.
Or
So
yeah, I don't know if we know specifics. I can't remember either.
Kristen, do you still have the book one? Can we reference this?
Somewhere. I do. I have a digital, but I also have a physical somewhere.
It'd be interesting to
Wonder
go
if we
back
can
on
find and
that.
search
But
that.
I did.
Well, it's hard because it's
make
Hawk and then Ken.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
We can next episode if we
It'll
want
be
to.
a part of our housekeeping notes for next
Yeah.
episode.
So
We'll confirm.
I made a note here. Well, this crockpot theory was instantly disproven again because Cass's mom mentioned that she took Malak and she put him in 2 chains. So no,
Put him on timeout.
he did not go into hiding. Thank you for showing up to my TED Talk. That's the end of that. So
I was just like, holy shit, Malik's alive! Qu'est-ce que c'est?
yes.
Qu'est-ce que le F?
Yes.
And not only was he put on timeout, but he was entombed in those bone chains. That's what Poppy was tied up in when they captured her, right?
Yes.
But it happened 400 years ago. And for some reason, when I wrote that down, I'm like, is there a specific mention to 400 years ago in the series? Because I feel like there is.
I think it's in this is my thoughts on this, is that it was in reference of their lifespan, because their lifespan is so long that I think he
Or
had
how long
already
ago?
lived so many years. And then by the time he was put in here, she's mentioning that it was 400 years ago. So like he was close to death, but wouldn't actually have been dead yet, I think is the reason that's
But I mean,
mentioned.
like, sorry, you go, Kristen.
Or I think if they're just talking about, like, you know, his mom took over the throne 400 years ago, so that's why he needs to. I think it's talked about that, how long they've been on the throne.
She's been the queen for
Yeah,
400
I was going to say,
years.
I remember 400
That's probably
being
why
Yes.
something in this
they've
series. and I
been
couldn't
king
I
and
remember.
queen
think
for that
it's
long.
I
How
think
long
it's
they've been on
they've
the
king
throne?
and queen.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe that's all
Yeah,
it was.
I think you're
But I was
right.
Yeah,
writing it
it's
out. I'm like,
been 400
this is
years.
ringing some alarm bells. But I didn't look into it. I was clearly not that not that entranced by it.
Oh my
So
Yeah, literally.
I was thinking more about Poppy's lineage again, and I was just internally really struggling to wrap my head around it, and got another crockpot theory. Again, I'm going to just read this as I, digested
have a
it,
lot
but
of,
I
like,
think some of it
There's
may
so many
have.
crock pots on the go.
I know. I need like a chart of all
Ugh.
your crock pots.
It's literally,
I love it.
I'm like,
Let me into your kitchen.
even just
Yes.
being in, there's so many times that I'll be reading and then I think of a theory and I'm just like, that's so dumb that it is not worth like being written down. But it's like, I'm constantly like, what if this, what if this, what if this, what if this? And I'm like, okay, this one
love
sounds
it.
like it could be something. But anyways, I'm going to read it, but we may have kind of already talked about it. But anyways, okay, I'm sorry to come back to this again. These are exactly my notes. But I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that the queen said she's Poppy's grandmother. So it's the Ascended / People of Solis that found Malek and forced him to basically have sex with them, I guess, so that they could have his children. But the Ascended can't have children. And I guess we don't totally know for a fact that the queen, Ileana, isn't ascended, because they're saying it would have had to have been a very strong Atlantean that is her mother. And maybe there's something to this. Oh boy. Addition to my crockpot theory. Sorry, I was in the middle of a crockpot theory and got more of a crockpot theory. What if, and I'm excited about this, what if her mother is frickin' Willa Collins? Because they said she'd have to have been a very, very old, and it would have to have been a very strong bloodline for Poppy to be this powerful. And did they not mention that Willa was the oldest of them all? Also, didn't they mention that someone went to Elysium to get the dirt and raise the unseen? She knew the location of Elysium. They made a point to tell us that, and it was not for no reason. Willa obviously lived in Solis, aka her book was there, and all of the stories she wrote while she was in Solis. As an elder, maybe she even knew that Malek was tied away and was able to help the people of Solis find him. Is Willa evil and Poppy's mom?
Ooh. I don't want to believe she's evil.
I don't want to either, but
I'm like,
But-
I don't get evil vibes from her.
I don't either.
But she could be Mama.
But she could be. But why would she help them get Malik out?
So would that mean
Because
that
what
the
if she's
queen
bad?
is Willa's mom?
I guess in theory, but then would that make her super duper old? Because Willa,
Yeah, like how old is the queen? Do we know?
Yeah,
we don't actually. I don't remember.
I don't think we know.
But they made
Just
a
that
point
they've
to
been on the
say
throne for a long time.
that Willa is like the oldest of the elders kind of thing, or way up there with the level of the oldest ones. She lived in Solis for a long enough time to have a book there. We learn now about her being at the Red Pearl. She was pushing Poppy into the direction she was pushing. Like, I don't want her to be bad, but because this theory popped into my head, I'm very sus of Willa Collins too.
Is there anyone you're not sus of this book?
There's a
She
point.
wrote a sex book. Like, I don't think she takes life that seriously.
She's just trying to give the people what they want.
Literally, like near the end, but why am I so suspicious about this book and all of these people? But anyways, that
You don't
is
trust Jennifer at all.
Girls just want to have fun.
Not allowed, apparently. They are obviously sinister and up to something, I think.
That is so funny.
We'll see what happens with that crackpot theory.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see indeed.
I think because this is before I thought about if Poppy's mom was forced into sexual deeds. I'm questioning as we're talking about this, like, is Poppy's mom someone they used for blood, like her biological mom? Maybe like this was an old theory, obviously. Maybe like the mom that raised her was something, but like her biological mom was that someone. Like, we know they tortured Cass and they
Like
tortured
a captured Atlantean,
yes.
you mean?
Like, we need you
Oh.
to basically give us this.
And if she
maiden.
goes as crazy as like Hawk did or Cass did, like, she may not have known.
Damn.
Maybe they did a little blood exchange. I don't know.
Right?
They exchanged something.
They exchanged something. Oh, God.
Sorry.
You're not wrong, though.
Oh boy. So I might be jumping ahead. I'm sorry. But Queen Iliwana says that from what they heard, the little girl that Poppy saved was too far gone to be healed normally, and that specific talent was something that Malik could do also. Poppy asks if it's like a rare thing for him to do it, and the queen says that he used to do it more before he became bored with life and death. And she says that now that was actually how they met, which I thought was like so fascinating. Like, Malik had saved her life once, and that's how they met. And I'm assuming fell in love because
Well, it's interesting because at first I was like mad. Like, maybe she's mad because he wasn't willing to like save her life kind of thing. And then to learn that that's actually how they met is that Malek saved her life. I also found that very interesting.
Yeah. And I'm like, I need more info on this. I need more backstory on this. But I made note of that because I was like, oh, obviously I didn't know that. How would I have known
but
that?
very cool.
But-
like, not what I would have
Notable.
expected from their how they met story. And
Yeah.
all that.
I think we also as she's talking about like how Malik saved her. Ooh, words are hard.
Very.
Listen. My phone's normally telling me to go to bed at this point.
Yeah,
so
Kristen's phone puts her on timeout.
it literally does.
Like, it is currently timeout time.
Not on recording
You're
nights.
You're time limited. Well, I turned it off. Are you proud of me?
I'm so proud of you.
Anyway, we're finally learning about like the blood forest trees, how because of her blood.
Which is cool.
Yes. I was
Yes.
so mind blown at this part. And like,
I really liked it.
yes. And
And it
it's
makes so
where
much sense. Like, I listened to
Right?
episode 6 today and I'm like, oh, we were like talking about this and now we know.
Oh,
It's like full circle moment. Like,
yes. Because it's actually where he was entombed. It was like what's that forest called? Is it just the blood?
let's go to
Tree
mountains,
forest?
no? Or
Blood forest? I think it's just blood forest.
oh yeah,
Is it
it's
just
right
blood forest?
outside of Solis.
Yeah.
Yes, the
Yeah,
blood forest.
yeah.
I think that's
But
what
yeah,
it
like
is.
that's where he's entombed. And I was like, is this why when Poppy's blood hits the ground, it sprouts a blood tree?
Yes.
Because it's like the
That's
ground is
so
recognizing the blood. And I was like,
interesting.
what? So anyway, my
What
note to finish that
if-
was, damn.
Her bleeding there actually helps like power him. Like if he's like almost dead and then she
Ooh,
bleeds,
like a sacrifice,
it
like a
almost
blood
gives him
sacrifice.
more time before he was to inevitably starve to death. Anyways,
Like a blood sacrifice.
Yeah,
I like
kinda.
it.
Yeah, I had a note. Oh, right here. I'm gonna skip ahead because we're talking about trees. I'm gonna skip ahead on my notes here for a minute. But Poppy asks about like how the golden trees of Ios, I forget how you say that,
that's okay.
had turned into blood trees, remember? And they were like,
Yeah.
is this a bad
Yes.
omen? Like whatever. And the queen said it's that those trees of Ios used to always bare crimson leaves and changed to gold when Malik was dethroned. So then I made a note, is them changing back to crimson now showing like recognition that Malik's blood is to rule once more, like meaning Poppy. I was like, oh, that's
I
kind
like
of
that
fun.
theory.
Yeah, it almost is
Yes.
making it like the God's approval almost that this is
Yes.
the right
Yes.
supposed to be because
Yes.
wow, that's cool.
Like,
I
oh,
didn't
you
pick up on
changed
that.
these when he was dethroned, but guess what? His
Yeah.
blood's back in power.
Yeah.
I was like,
cool.
oh, that's kind of cool.
Guess what, bitches?
Yeah.
And it's like all these little things, that like there's so much to it.
I love
Yeah.
It's
it.
very cool.
And like I know we had talked about. Sorry, my notes are all over the place, friends.
That's right, as
But
long as you can
Amanda, you had
understand
made a note about how like he could be free, but like he might not. Oh no, I think it was Kristen that did. He might be free, might be your parents. It's 19 years ago, maybe. I don't know. But the king and queen both said like they didn't really believe that Malik had actually got free from being entombed until they saw her using her powers in the chambers, and then they figured like there's no way it could be anyone else standing here with this much power. So I meant to add that to yours.
But interesting
Kristen, and
thought about that
forgot.
is, or could it be Nyctos's child? Like, there's no
Yeah.
way they could be this strong. It must be Malek. The only like caveat to that is that she is basically saying her power is exactly like Malek.
Right.
But which also is Malek. Would it have been technically died down if it was Malek's child, though? If she was like on par with Malek, wouldn't that almost potentially make her?
Do they
almost-
say she's stronger than Malek?
I
though?
don't know,
Or just
'cause if
that
she's
because her
stronger-
power is so strong, she has to be closer to Malek.
Yes, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it specifically
think
said
so
who
either.
of the two were stronger. And like two, like I doubt that the king and queen ever met Nyctos himself. Like that's a long ass time ago, right? So like
Yeah, I think. I don't know for
like
sure.
Malek
but
Malek is kind of like their generation person that they can relate it to. So like, oh, like
Yeah.
Malek had this much power, it
Yeah.
must be Malek. Like not even realizing it could go further
Yeah, is
than that.
anyone currently
Mhm.
alive? Were they alive while any of the gods were awake? Or
I-
no, because
I
Malek
thought it was talked about that
I thought Alistair was.
Alistair was.
was alive with
Or
the
no, it was
gods?
deities. It was deities.
Because-
It was
Oh,
before the last of the deities
deities.
were
Because
gone.
remember,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Malek ascended his wife because the gods were
Right.
asleep. So in
Yes.
Malek's time,
No.
right?
don't think
the
anyone
gods
alive
were
now
asleep.
was.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they were already. You're right. They were already sleeping, and that's why he decided to ascend.
Yes.
What's her
Mhm.
face? I forget her name now.
Isbeth.
Yes,
yes.
that's
I
right.
can't believe I
Yes.
remembered that, by the way.
Good job.
I'm like, Elizabeth Isbeth. That's how my mind went.
Oh, and then I just made a cute note here. Poppy says to Cass, "Well, at least you can stop calling me a goddess now. I'm just a ... deity." And then he responds with both of his dimples on display. "You will always be a goddess to me." And I'm like, oh, I just love him.
What a
Actually, my exact
patootie.
note was swoon.
Woon.
I just love him.
I love it.
He is sweet.
And then Poppy was asking about like, am I going to need to feed? Like, if I'm a deity, am I going to need to feed? Because like she was hungry when she'd first woke up or whatever. And King Valen says he doesn't ever remember deities needing to feed, only when severely wounded or if completely exhausted, which like makes sense because she damn near
Yeah.
died. So that
This
would
is
be
interesting
why.
though. So obviously we thought only Alistair was alive with the deities, but obviously Valen
Oh yeah,
was.
Well,
Right.
Malek
Or
was a
he
deity,
knew.
and he was married to the queen.
So like, I
so
thought
clearly more
only-
people were alive
Yeah.
while the deities
Yes.
It was just not
Yeah.
during the gods' time.
were. Yes.
Yeah, no one was
Correct.
God's time.
No.
It's also
Just the
interesting
deities.
that King Valen is the one saying, "Oh, I don't remember if they need to feed." Like, wasn't your mom married to one for a long time? Wouldn't she like have more say?
No,
in...
his wife. His wife.
His
King
wife.
Oh, sorry,
Valen's
that's right. I
wife.
meant Cass's mom. Sorry.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Cass's
I was like,
mom- Sorry, I know I need to be I need to clear that up. But it's just interesting that he's the one to comment on that when she was the one married to one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And
if
I feel
anyone
like
should
what
say
I wonder if it's
something.
maybe just something she doesn't like to talk about.
That's fair.
Malik, so Valen knows that. He's like,
He's
yeah,
like,
I'm
I'll
gonna
take
jump
this
in
one.
here.
I'll take
Yeah.
it.
I got you, boo.
I got you, boo. You drink your drink. I got you.
I got you.
I think we're getting to now where like, Poppy and Cass's mom like are gonna go for a walk or whatever, and I'm like, I really hope they have a good bond. but I'm very doubtful.
Amanda looks
Very
like she has things
doubtful.
to say.
I do. I got another crockpot theory here. And honestly, I was so nervous. I was like, do not go walk with her. Because Cass
I remember
Cass
feeling the
sounded
same.
sketch.
I'm like,
He was
do it,
like, no, I don't think you should go for a walk. I mean, he didn't say that, but it was insinuated that he wasn't really comfortable with it. But then once I learned that like Kieran and them were close by, I was like, okay. But
Yeah.
I had another crockpot theory. This has since been disproven, but I will let you into my mind. So I say, oh my God, Poppy and Cass's mom are going for a walk. What if she tells Poppy that Cass's brother is already dead? How crazy would it be if the Ascended used him and killed him and delivered his dead body back to the Crown to prove a point? And his mom and dad never had the heart to tell Cass that he was dead. And everyone is always like, Cass, you just need to move on. Forget about saving your brother. He's already too far gone, blah, blah. But in the reality that they know he's dead, but they can't tell Cass that he's dead. So they're just hoping he'll eventually move on. And now maybe she's going to tell this to Poppy in hopes that Poppy can finally convince him to stop going after his brother because he can't be stayed because he's already dead.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at your theory.
You are,
I'm
and it's
laughing
okay.
at how dark that went. I was not expecting that.
For anyone not
seriously
watching, Katie and I are she talking like we're covering our mouths. It's like, oh my God.
cannot begin to explain to you what my brain does as I'm reading in the what ifs. Like, it's unreal.
I mean, I can see it though.
Right?
Like, you went there, but I'm like, that's not off the table.
Yes, and then I put yet again another crockpot theory immediately is not fulfilled. Do you listeners think I'm crazy yet? It's like everyone, I'm like, what if this? And then the next sentence, that is not it. And I'm like, okay, moving on.
The
And
lie
they're like,
detector
oh my God,
test
this...
determined that was a lie.
Because I pause and I say my whole blurb. I hit play like 3 seconds later. I'm like, oh, never mind.
Ron Johnson.
Anywho, that's where I thought that was going, and obviously didn't. So, moving on.
Well, I took a different approach to this walk because I was like, oh, this is so cute. Like, oh, they're having like a heart to heart. I liked it, but I am coming from hopeless optimism. So, but the one thing I did note on their walk was they bring up the original maiden. I don't know if you guys caught that. But Poppy asks her
Yes.
if she's ever heard of the original maiden.
Oh, yes, and
Yep.
she said no. She had
Yeah,
to
and she's
her,
like, no, but that doesn't mean she doesn't exist. And I'm like, again, she's being brought up.
right.
I feel like,
She's got to be something still.
yes, it's gonna come up.
I was
Anyway,
very
is-
she doesn't exist, and now I'm very she does, whether she's a maiden or anything.
Didn't we have a theory? Were we having a theory that someone, not Poppy, was one of the children, the beast
Yes, the
things?
cat.
Yes,
cat.
which I do further explain
Like-
eventually, but yes.
This is not even. I don't even think this makes sense. What
hear
if
it.
Poppy was one of them, and the first maiden was the other kid?
Well, that's
There's two of them.
So that's what I think, but I never thought.
Like, that doesn't make sense.
Well,
but
like
like,
that
there's
they're
two of them, and
siblings?
one maiden and the second maiden.
Well,
Yeah.
that's my part of my theory is that the first maiden is that other cat that she saw.
Yes.
But I never thought to consider that maybe Poppy was a cat and now isn't, and that it's maybe the opposite way that I thought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where I thought
Even if it's like a reincarnation thing, like
I see
I
where
don't
you're
know.
going, but it's just like how to
Let that simmer a little bit, you know?
yeah,
Put-
that
put
needs
that
to
baby on
simmer a
low.
little bit longer. But like, there's two of them, and we know of two maidens.
right.
This is a
And
good point you raised.
I-
The
I may-
the numerology.
Yes.
Words are really
is
hard
in
for us
there.
today.
It's a good thing we don't speak into mics.
yeah,
You
fine.
weren't
Never
recording.
listen to us say words. I also, you know, I'm just gonna leave it until we get to the other crockpot theories. I'll let it be.
I did like. I have to. I know. I'm like sus. This walk. The Cass's mom. I'm not saying her name, but Cass's mom is like, you know what? It doesn't matter that like your parents weren't your biological parents. They're still your parents. I'm like,
That was very sweet of
someone.
her.
Yes, that was very. I'm like, someone needed to say that
Yeah.
because
She
Poppy
needed
was
to
like
hear
over.
it.
Yeah, she needed to hear it. That like
Yeah.
you're validated and that they're your parents, even
Yeah.
if this like the science isn't
Family
there.
isn't
And,
always
like,
blood.
Yes.
I was so sus of her. And then she would say something like that is so sweet.
Yes.
And I'd be like, oh my God, I'm terrible. And she is so nice and so sweet. And then I'm like, nah, she's evil.
well, then I'm like, is she saying this to butter her up like the other
Right?
queen?
I know. So hard to know.
And meanwhile,
Well-
I'm like trancing through the tulip.
You're like,
La, la,
this is
la,
just
la,
the
la,
best.
la. Life is great. Nothing to see here except for butterflies and rainbows.
It's so cute.
And then I think we end with the Queen of Blood and Ash being Ileana, the evil queen. And I was like, I need more,
You're
but I
like-
feel like we already knew that.
No. So we did not.
Did we know that?
Nope.
Read,
I think after
read
I
our
wrote this
chapter
down-
end. Read
So
our
yeah,
chapter end.
let me close off this chapter for you folks. Tension bracketed her mouth as she echoed, Ileana. Her nostrils flared in distaste. The Queen of Blood and Ash. So after
dun.
Eloana and Poppy's conversation, basically they're going for this like mundane walk, talking about things that are important, and then they have all of these serious conversations and learn that the title of the Queen of Solis is the Queen of Blood and Ash. Now,
that was the original
that
title.
was her
holder.
original title, yes.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I imagine we're gonna in the next chapter
I
talk
feel like
about...
I was shooketh by this.
I wish I was also shooketh. I'm like, what?
Qu'est-ce que
Right.
c'est?
Yeah,
Qu'est-ce que-
I agree. I was also shooketh.
Same.
So, chapter 28.
Woo! We made it through 2 chapters.
So it starts. Shivers erupted over my skin as I stopped walking. What? The Queen of Atlantia faced me. She is called the Queen of Blood and Ash. So we're kind of just continuing our conversation.
Yes. So I have a note here. So I'm just gonna read this quote. When the Blood Crown began their dynasty, they called themselves the Queen and King of Blood and Ash, referencing the power of the blood and what remains after destruction. And then I made a note here, like I was thinking about this, Amanda. You called this from like our very first episode. You're like, we will rise from what you did to us. And they took that saying and kind of like threw it back at their face. Like you call that episode 1 because I also edited episode 1
No big
a few
deal.
times and heard it. You say it a few times.
No big
But
deal.
you had said, what if the saying is like, doesn't matter what you do to us, we will rise again. Like we're going to rise above this. And like,
Because
she's
that's what they do.
essentially,
They make that saying
yes,
in spite of them for that exact
Yes.
reason.
like you fucking
Bring
called that.
power to it.
Vindicated. Ooh. Too bad we're not keeping track, and it doesn't mean anything. It's all meaningless. It's all
Meaningless participation medal.
It's all meaningless.
Oh, that's so funny. You guys. Oh. I don't know where this comes in, but Cass's mom makes a sex joke about Malik having 2 heads, and I'm
So
like, I did not expect, like, they're like, queenly things, and la-da-da, and this
Proper.
and that, and he has 2 heads, or something about it.
And
Yes,
I
guys
did
don't
not
like
expect
her.
they were
that joke coming.
She was talking, I think, about how he had mistresses and stuff and how he was a great man, but
Yeah.
you know, he always was thinking with his 2 heads or something like that. And
I just didn't.
was like,
I'm
whoa,
they're having like a very
mother-in-law?
serious conversation. Like, you know, it doesn't matter that your parents weren't biologically your parents, but also here's a sex joke about your dad.
right? It's like
And
we
his
don't
dick.
know each other well enough for that, Miss Queen, mother-in-law
I
lady.
couldn't do that with my own mother, and I live with them.
It's like, whoa.
Like, please don't be listening to this, Mom.
Penis, 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 penis.
That was Katie.
No,
It was Kristen. I saw.
Yeah.
Just
Video
like
evidence.
throw you under the bus.
Go watch us on YouTube, Marianne.
We like edit it so your mouth is moving for that.
Yeah.
I'm quitting.
At this
I'm
point,
quitting.
um,
Throw my Kindle across the room.
but not my new one. So I'm starting to feel guilty about Cass's mom because I'm thinking
Because she's
that-
fantabulous. Continue.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that, but I was thinking, okay, what she is saying is really, really sweet, and I'm feeling really bad about thinking she was sus. I'm so glad that this conversation happened, especially with the way that she is saying to Poppy that Malek isn't a bad man. Basically, the queen is giving Poppy her blessing in the sense of, I accept you even though you're the son of Malek and everything that he did to me, she says that she still believes that he was a very good man. And she is telling Poppy that she knows that she's not the product of a monster, which I think is exactly what Poppy needed to hear. Because
Yes.
this whole time she's like, well, they hate me because of my heritage. Well, this person hate me because of my heritage. And she's
Like, she even thought Cass was going to hate her
Yes.
because of her heritage. Yeah.
Malek wronged the queen, like Cass's mom. So to
Right.
hear her say, like, Poppy, he was a good man, and like you're
It meant
not
something more coming from
Yeah,
her.
exactly. I thought it was
Mhm.
something that she really needed to hear, and the fact that Malek was good, I think is something she needed to hear. But the fact he was good and that he turned bad in his old age has me worrying that, Malek's theory about what happens is kind of true. Like that is what happened, and that was based off of.
You mean
truth.
Alistair's? You
Sorry,
said
yes. What did I
Malek's.
say?
You said Malek's.
Oh, yes, sorry. Alistair's theory, or not theory, but he said, like, I'm afraid of you, Poppy, because you're going to grow bored in your old age and, or whatever. And it's also sad to think that the person that he was, like Cass's mom saw that change happen. And when he kind of wasn't himself near the end. And it just makes me sad and worried for Poppy that
Yeah.
could be a thing eventually if she is what we think she is.
Yeah. I wrote down a quote of that like specific part. So the queen's saying, I don't know what happened, what changed him so that he was no longer satisfied with me and the life that we were trying to build. Why the generosity and the kindness that had once been second nature to him faded. But I know it was no fault of mine, and I have long since stopped wondering and caring about why he sought completion and the purpose in the arms of others. What I'm trying to say is that your father wasn't a monster, Penelope. He was a deity, the most powerful one there was, but he was still just a man that became lost. And then Poppy like makes note about how like her respect for him grew, and like how it would have been so easy for her to just like paint him as the bad guy because like he is kind of the villain in her story, right? But like she knows what Poppy needs to hear and like gives that to her, and I thought it was
Because she
really
didn't have to
sweet.
do that. Like
No.
she,
And I put, I
No.
love this so much.
and I was like, I'm feeling so guilty that I was being suspicious of her because it was really pivotal, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think I was feeling guilty over being suspicious.
You're like, I don't
be
care.
suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
It also made me think, Katie, you're gonna love this. She's like, he wasn't a bad man, he was just misguided. And it gave me like Emma Watson has talked about JKR, like She Who Must Not Be Named, and being like, it's really hard for me to see who she is now versus like the person
one
I knew
she
growing
knew.
up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm getting these vibes.
But very
I appreciate
Katie
the
interesting.
Harry
will like the
Potter
Harry
reference,
Potter
though.
reference.
It has to be brought in every single episode in some
need at
way,
least
shape,
one.
or form.
Yeah.
At
yeah.
least one.
I got
Oh
you.
my god,
Thanks.
that's funny.
Got you, boo.
Anyway.
So I'm just reading my note here. Poppy saying that Malek felt betrayed when Ileana annulled the marriage and took the throne with the support of council. He would have never believed that a descendant of Nyktos could have ever been overruled. So this is like when the queen's kind of explaining how she was left with the crown. And I know that's something that we had talked about in one of
Yeah.
our previous episodes. Like, because I was like, oh, like all for women empowerment, but like isn't normally in these fantasy novels.
Bloodline.
It's like, oh, yeah, bloodline,
Yeah.
like the man keeps the power bullshit. But anyway,
Especially when he was a god. Like it was kind of like,
Yes.
how did that
Yes.
transpire?
I mean, did we know he was a god then?
No, I don't think so.
I
Yeah,
don't know
okay.
if we did.
Not when we were
Yeah.
first talking about it. That's why we were like, this makes no sense.
Yeah. But I made a note like, okay, cool. Like that's awesome that the council was like, yeah, fuck you, you don't get the power. Like
Yep.
give it to her. I get that. I get the people part. I get the law part. What I didn't understand though, like, do you remember when she initially took her crown off at the end of book 2 and put it at Poppy's feet? It kind of like burst into flames and like turned into like the gilded bone because it wasn't that before. I don't remember what it was,
Correct.
but it wasn't gilded bone.
Yeah.
So it like turned into that at like the recognition of Poppy's blood. So like, was the crown also okay with being just handed over to someone quote
See, that's
unquote less
interesting.
than?
I know. I don't know.
I mean, the same thing kind of happens with eventually down the line with the crown that Cass gets. Like it breaks. It was like not gold.
It
and then
also
it
turns
breaks
into
down to
gilded
gold.
bone, I think, too, doesn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
Maybe.
And I question that too. Like,
Yeah.
is this
Ma-
there's
ma-
something
sorry.
going on? Why was
Like-
it not gold before?
And does it have its own, like, is it,
Personality?
I don't know. Does it have its own thoughts?
Well, maybe every
Yes.
time it's passed
Is it
on,
the sorting hat? Sorry.
but maybe the crown is different for every ruler, and it's never the same. So every time it gets passed
Like
to
their
somebody,
symbol?
yeah, like the symbol, like it becomes
True.
its own version of that ruler's crown, and maybe it'll actually have something to do with their deepest desires or their personality, or there'll be more to why it is what it is. But yeah, I never thought about it more, to be honest, until we were talking about it
Sorry,
right now.
I hyperfixate on little things.
No, but like it's something
Listen.
that they mentioned, so obviously it's
In a
Yeah,
few
for
chapters, I
different
hyperfixate on Cass's crown being gold. I'm like, they mention it turned to gold, and then they never mention it again. Like, no,
Like-
is it still gold? What's happening?
You couldn't
Why did it
pay
turn to
me-
gold? Why is no one questioning that it turned to gold? They're just like, oh yeah, the crown's gold now. That's fine.
The end.
Poppy, you asked 20,000 questions. Ask one more.
Why is the crown? I would like if you said what color did the crown turn, I'd be like, I don't know. Like I
Same.
literally was like, no idea.
Gold.
That's so funny. And you're like, and I want to know why.
On another thing too, when they're on this walk, I think Ileana's like, can you truly ever forgive my son for like what he did? Because his initial plan was to hand her over to get his brother back. And she said, I can never forget what Cass did. Sorry. Poppy's saying that she can never forget what Cass did to her, but she does forgive him. And she says that people put too much emphasis on forgiveness when it's really understanding and acceptance that matters most. She says she can ultimately understand why he did what he did, and because of that, she's able to forgive him. I'm like, that's kind of a
Huge.
That's really
Interesting point.
powerful.
That
Yeah.
also shows she's a fit queen. Like she's fit
Yes.
to be a
Mhm.
ruler. Like that she can look past the grudges in this, and she says, I get why this decision was made.
right.
Not
Doesn't
happy
mean
about
that.
it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Like,
Anyway, I
that's
just thought it was
like
powerful.
a really
so-
powerful quote. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
I
In
had to write
general,
that
like
down.
in life.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Poppy and Cass's mom start to talk about Ian and basically what happens if he is not himself is how this conversation goes. Like if he is ascended and he's not himself, what happens then? So what Poppy's saying is that if Poppy's brother ends up being ascended, she's basically deciding and confirming that she will like put him out of his misery and kill him.
Yeah.
Which obviously, like I hope that if he is ascended, that there will be some opportunity that ascended people can be good people, and then they can live and not be, blood-sucking, hungry, crazy people. Now, the queen was talking as if they are all bad, and it's kind of sad because Cass was willing to turn her into an ascended person, and it just, to me, they're looking at it like every ascended person automatically equals evil person. And what I don't understand, and this is going to kind of talk about it in a few future, not episodes, chapters, is I can't decide what side the queen is on. Because in here, she is talking as if ascended equals evil. And if, he's not himself, will you kill him? And basically Poppy's like, yes, I will. Because to the queen, ascended is evil. But then later on, I can't tell if she's insinuating that they're not all evil, and I'm having a really hard time.
Like that the queen is insinuating that?
Yes. Like to me here, she's making it seem like ascended equals evil. And
Mhm.
the fact that she was going to switch Poppy over, like it was just the most evil act that could happen. But I feel that later on, the queen almost makes it seem like she isn't for the potential war that could happen because she doesn't want all of this mass murder.
Yeah.
And I really don't know where her head stands, basically, long story short.
Yeah.
That was a mouthful
Yeah.
to get to that point, and I apologize.
I think it's probably a lot of that is probably like she's dealing with her own moral compass as well as dealing with like I'm a ruler and I have to
The
make hard
crown.
decisions.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I just feel there's so many people that are obviously forced into it, and I don't feel that any
Yes.
of the Atlanteans
Mhm.
see it that way. They see
Right.
all ascended people are evil, but
right.
I feel like 90% of them were forced into it having no idea what they were going to become. And then
Yeah.
it's
Right,
very
exactly.
unfair, right?
They thought
just-
it was something to do with being chosen by gods and
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like some point too, she says something like, we don't care. And I'm like, it's kind of like I feel like they were kind of stepped on like Atlantia by the Ascendeds. And now they're
Mhm.
like, you know what? You did this to us. Now,
Yes.
revenge. We're going to do it to you.
Right.
And I'm like, that you're literally the thing that you hated. You're becoming the
Mhm.
thing that you hated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
I was
Yeah.
just, yeah.
It's like you're punishing those who didn't do
Yeah.
the thing to you initially.
Because
You
there's
know,
plenty
Yes.
people in Solis that aren't ascended.
and that's what Poppy says to her too. And we'll get to it in a minute.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
that's one of the things that she brings up.
So
I just think it's dumb that they're trying to kill everyone.
yeah, and I'll add to this because I did have this note kind of later on, and maybe it helps explain my thought process before. So basically, the queen is saying that we are going to kill everybody in Solis since we're going to go to war, and if that happens, every ascended is on the table. And obviously, I expect that Poppy is going to be upset about that, and I'm upset about that because she's basically saying every ascended will die, and
Mhm.
everybody in Solis. Now, the only reason I have a problem with this is that Poppy before this point says that if I see my brother and I don't see the person that I knew, I will kill him.
Mhm.
And a part of me feels some type of way about that because I think that it's got to be more than just that. Like it can't be like, oh, if I see him and he's not there. Like I feel that if there is a whole kingdom of evil ascended people, it's going to take more than a, hey, if you're good people, I'll let you live. Like it's going to be a whole process of them learning how to be good people. And like, I feel like she wasn't giving that potential opportunity to Ian in her thought process of she's like, if my brother, who I know him as, isn't there, he's done. And then she gets upset here when Queen Ileana is basically saying the same thing about the Ascended. Like, she's basically like, okay, the Ascended, we gave them this chance. We saw them as bad. It didn't work out. So now we want to kill them all. And Poppy's kind of like, well, if I see my brother and I feel that he's not there, I'm just going to kill him too. And I don't know. Part of me is like, what's the difference there other than the
I think-
innocent people? Like I see a difference, but
Right.
I don't
think
know
the
if
only
I'm
difference with
explaining
her
that.
brother specifically is she views doing that to him as like a good thing for him. Like, I'm putting him out
Yeah.
of his misery. He would never want to be this way. The brother I know would never want to be this. Like, she's thinking if I were ever like that, like, please someone. Like,
Could you not argue then that it makes sense to kill all the Ascended because they're all these monsters that they don't want to be? Like you kind of
But
have
they
to
might have
give
all
them...
turned into monsters. Like some might be like, I turned this way, but I didn't want to turn this way, and I'm trying to be better. I think in her head, she's like, oh, if Ian
She
is
would
here,
know
like,
what he would
oh my
want.
gosh, like I'm gonna
I'm
drink
ascended,
that
bitch.
blood. Yeah.
Yeah, like so she's basically like, I know him well enough to know he would want to
Yeah.
be put out of his misery
Yes.
versus
That's how
the
I
other
took it
people
anyway.
Yeah.
that would want to have the opportunity to live that way and be good kind
Yeah.
of thing.
And like Poppy kind of says something, she touches on that too. This is what I was going to say. I was skipping ahead. I'm sorry. But like the queen's like, well, like, because she's like, well, why don't we just try and show them another way? Like, we can show them that there's this other chance, and we can give them the opportunity to try and be good. And like, she's like, we've tried that before. They
Yeah.
failed the test, whatever. And Poppy says, yeah, but now I'm kind of serving as like proof that everything that they've said to this point is a lie. Like
Yeah.
Poppy went through this whole experience of finding out that everything she believed was a lie, and she came out through the other side.
Yeah, and she changed
So
her
she's
mind.
like,
Like,
yes, if we show the people of Solis, like, I'm clearly not given to the gods, like I'm something different. I married the prince that you
The
guys don't
evil
acknowledge
guy.
as a prince. Yes, like clearly there's another path we can take here. And she says, like, by giving them this option, is it not like,
yeah.
is there not, you can't say there's no chance that other people will
Exactly.
come.
Yeah.
Especially
And
when
then
she was the pivotal, she was like
Yes.
the one item, like that
Yes.
she was a
Right.
maiden, like so
She's like, if I could see,
the most indoctrinated person in all of
Yes.
Solis
yes,
could see it. Anybody
yes.
can.
Yeah. And then I just laughed. I made this note because like the queen in response to that, she goes like, like you're a very logical person. And she like bursts out laughing and she goes, sorry, it's just that Cass would say logic is not one of my strong suits. And the queen says, men wouldn't know logic if it smacked him in the face.
So
I just
funny.
thought it was a funny quote.
Still very valid. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so then our chapter ends, and we're talking about the queen, and she's like, her steady gaze held mine as I stiffened. Your brother, Ian, your friend you spoke of, if either of them proves to be what you hoped, they will still be destroyed, along with the rest. All will be killed. I'm
Dun,
like,
dun,
the
dun.
fuck?
Rude.
So
Rudy
Yeah,
Patootie.
there goes that, you know? Okay, chapter
R.I.P.
29. Woo woo. So, chapter starts with I inhaled sharply, but we gave them a chance before, Queen Ileana interrupted as she reached out, touching one of the roses. The entire kingdom of Atlantia did. We allowed the vampires to grow and flourish, believing that it would be the best for all, as long as they could control themselves. We were foolish to believe that. That choice, that optimism, will not be made again and by the generation who had already lived through that heartbreaking failure. So she's essentially saying, like, the people the people that lived through that already trying to make that decision have seen how that failed, and they're not going to want to
Mhm.
do that again. They're not going to want to be burned twice.
Yeah. And then she kind of goes on to like speak more, and then we hear Poppy, not we don't hear. Unless you're listening, then you do actually hear it.
I heard it.
You don't hear.
I don't hear it. Anyway, she stills. Every part of her goes quiet. And what like the queen's saying, she's like, it sounds so familiar to that voice, that strange smoky voice that she'd heard near the city limits. And I'm like, what is this? What is this voice? Is this? We've talked about reincarnation. I'm like, is this the past repeating itself? And Poppy's lived through this, and that's why it seems so familiar to her.
Oh.
I really feel like
Something's
reincarnation is somewhere
up.
in this. It's got to be.
I'm just going to say, if we're right on this reincarnation shit, we called this so long ago. All of us.
Blizzards for all.
Super
Yeah.
early.
Or ice cream of your choice.
Blizzards for all.
I think my next note at some point, and this is going back to me being suspicious. I think she's saying like Queen or Queen Ileana, Your Majesty, like she's using like formalities, and the Queen's like, Poppy, call me by my name, and I'm like, that's suspicious. Sorry, I think I just jarred my laptop.
You're like, how dare you?
That's suspicious.
Because I feel like she's like trying to like ease Poppy in, like, you should trust me. We're on a name to name basis.
We know each other
Oh my
so well
God.
that you
We
can
know
call
each
me
other.
mommy.
Yeah.
Am I like completely naive? Because I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. She wants to like, get to know
honestly,
her.
I didn't find that sus at all. But I understand why
I
she did
did.
because I thought her walking over to the credenza to get wine was suspicious. So I
Oh my
can't
God,
even
you guys are
She's
so
literally like, we're gonna
funny.
kill Ian, but you know,
call me mommy.
call me by my name. That'd be like, Katie, I'm gonna go kill your brother, but you can still call me Kristen.
It's like,
How do you feel about me
Don't
now?
She does not
touch
sit right, does it?
Nicholas.
Nikolai. Niktos.
He's a god, damn it.
Wouldn't you be suspicious? Just saying. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't know. Maybe I need to reread
And then-
these chapters.
Well, then she literally, like, she's like, we're gonna kill millions of people, and like, there's no sympathy. She's just like, yeah, MBD. We're just gonna wipe out half the continent.
Yep.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
It's just all wrapping up and making me really, really
And
suspicious of
it's
her.
like, then I think later on, she makes it seem like secretly, like, Poppy, I want you to take the crown so you can end this war. I'm like, is that what she
Yeah.
wants? I don't know what this lady wants. She's literally like, just
I
so
was
you
like,
know,
is she setting her
everyone's
up
on the
for
table.
failure too?
I know.
Like, maybe she knows that someone's gonna assassinate her as queen. I don't know.
It's very strange.
All very suspicious.
I had a note here. So like, let me back up. So the queen says like, you're brave, because she keeps like interrupting her, like, but what if like we can save them, whatever. And she says, brave, the queen murmured. You are very brave. I shook my head. I don't know if it's bravery or not, but I know that Atlantia's involvement would have been complicated, but neither Castile nor I want war. But you said, the queen starts to say, and she says, but I said I wanted to see the Ascended destroyed. I cut in, and I do. I want to see the Blood Crown destroyed, but that does not mean I want an all-out war. I may not have been alive during the last war, but I know the innocent will suffer the most, the people of Solis and the Atlanteans. Maybe those within Atlantia cannot feel sympathy for those in Solis, but they are not the enemy here. They are also victims. So she's like,
kind of
essentially
saying, now
saying-
I don't want war.
But she's still like, they're gonna die.
If we
they
go to
gonna
war.
die today.
Like, it's just, like, I think that she doesn't want war. But the way at the end of the chapter, she's like, everyone's on the table. We've already been through this once before. We're not making the same mistake twice. And it sounded like she felt that inside.
Yeah.
And now it's like, she's like, look, I don't want war either. I know that the Atlantean citizens lose if there's war because some of them will die. And that's not what I want. And it's like,
Yeah.
what? I thought you just said you did want that. Okay.
And then
Okay.
like I'm still suspicious. So then she kind of continues talking, and as she's talking, like, we've decided, as have the elders, to go to war, and then her jaw clenches and then relaxes. And she says, only the king and queen can stop the war from happening. Like, why is her jaw clenching? Like, is that like a stress? Is like,
She's
there's something?
Evil.
Yes.
Can I tell
Listen,
you how
I'm
I
really
read
worried.
that?
Yes.
Yes.
She was just so sweet and smiling that her jaw
She's
clenched.
No.
stressed that she had to agree to war. She's like, fuck, I didn't like this, but here we are.
No. I read it as she's like, dear Lord, take a fucking breath. This girl's not getting it. Bitch, you gotta do it. You gotta step up and say no war. That's how I read
I
it.
did eventually get to that point. Like, I was very like, she just said she wanted war. Now she doesn't want war. And then I think I'm like, okay, she's kind of like trying to hint at take
She's
the
like,
crown. Is that where we're at here?
hello?
Yeah.
But
I was
was
yeah. I'm like,
really-
she's kind of redeeming herself by saying like, take the crown and stop the
Yeah.
war, but I'm still suspicious.
Samesies.
All right.
And this added to my suspicion. So I put, did the queen really just compare and basically say that the Ascended and the Atlantean people are no different in regards to the Atlanteans' need for vengeance compared to the Ascended's need for blood? Both of those things result in the innocent blood being spilt. That's kind of the pot calling the kettle black. She literally just said, we are no better than them. And I was like, huh? How can you hate them then? She's like,
I don't get
the
it.
Atlanteans' need for vengeance is just as strong as the Ascended's need for blood.
But again, I think she's saying all this to be like, Poppy, you
Hint,
got
hint,
to take.
nudge, nudge.
Yes.
Yeah, so I hope, in theory, that could be a positive thing in saying, like, look I think that there's similarities between the Atlanteans and the Ascended. Therefore, take the crown and maybe we can save some lives here because maybe they can be redeemed. But to me, when I read it, I was like, that didn't sound good.
I was suspicious. I'm like, I want to believe the best in her, but also this is all coming off very suspicious.
I found the exact words, Kristen, of when her jaw clenched, and it just reiterates why I was thinking what I was thinking. I'm just going to read it.
Okay.
She says, yes, millions will die. She agreed, exhaling softly, and I felt a spike of anguish from her, one I didn't think had anything to do with Malek. I don't want that. Neither does Valen. Gods know we have both seen enough blood spilled. We've seen enough blood spilled, enough of it. But we have decided, as have the elders, to go to war. It is done. She advised. My heart thumped heavily in my chest. I hadn't expected to hear this today. I could sense that Kieran hadn't either, as his shock was just as potent as mine. Ileana's jaw clenched and then relaxed. Only the king and queen can stop the war from happening now. So that's why I was like, she's thinking, you have to stop it. You take a breath. Don't yell at this lady. She don't understand what I'm trying to say to her. But like, bitch, you got to fix it. I can't fix it. It's out of my hands. You fucking fix it.
But she still agreed to war. They could have been like, no, and the elders could have been like, we're overruling you.
So
if that's how it works.
I think
don't know.
that's kind of, I think that's what's happening without them actually going against the elders. Like if I'm going to play devil's advocate to my suspicion and think, okay, let's say the queen is good. I think what she's saying without saying is that we have all been through this. We've gone to war. No, we didn't go to war. We tried to give them a second chance or what have you, right? And it ended badly. And
there was the war too, the War of the Two Kings.
Yes, and all of the Atlanteans, the elders that lived through this, saw how terrible it was. And how can we as king and queen say to them, no, we need to try this again? Like, we cannot disagree with them, or else, like, I feel that the elders would start to question their integrity as king and queen at this point. Like, I feel that they feel their hands are tied.
Yeah.
And because of what's happened in the past, they really have no choice but to go along with it. But if somebody else was in that position that hasn't gone through that before, the elders can't be like, look at you idiots, we've done this. Where when a different perspective comes in, they can't use that anymore as a, you know what happened. Like, at least it's a different, like, so a part of me was feeling that inside. Like, maybe even though they disagree with it, they can't even verbalize that to the elders because it would just be an issue. It would just be a fight. And whereas
or would it even start like a
rebellion, right? Or an uprising against the crown.
Someone else can come and challenge the crown, and the elders could be like, well, you're not we all think war,
Yes.
and we're like 5 of us or however many there are, and there's 2 of you, so and they're trying to preserve the crown for one of their
Yeah.
sons.
So, I mean, I've said this already that I was a little confused with the queens. Like, does she want war? Does she not? So, on my note here, I'm a little confused because Poppy and the queen are talking, and Poppy is saying that if she understands the queen correctly, she is saying it without saying it, in the sense that the queen and the king can overrule the war and change the minds potentially of the elders,
Council.
and that this new heir, if Poppy takes the queen, because they didn't have that similar past of being in what happened previously, they can now justify a stop to the war. Considering this, her saying to Poppy that she needs to take the crown, it's just confusing me because I don't feel like the queen is being very clear about it. And I think Poppy is also very confused about this. But I do think that she
We all
wants
are.
Poppy to take the crown to stop the war. I think what is best for Atlantia would not be for the current king and queen to stop the war, but would
Right.
be for a new king and queen to come in
Yep.
and stop the war. And this is what the queen is trying to insinuate to
That's what I
Poppy
took
at this
from it.
point. Like, we can't do it, but a new
She's
king
like,
and queen
literally, I
could.
cannot. Like, my people have been through this. They would
Yes.
never.
Allow me to make that decision when
Yes.
I've been through what they've
Yes.
been through.
Yes.
Right?
That's how I read it when I was reading it.
I was getting to that at this point. I was like, okay, I think I'm getting
I'm
the
picking up what
message.
you're putting down.
I think I'm getting there.
Yeah. I'm like, I was getting there, but I was also suspicious still. There's still that thread of doubt.
Yeah.
As they kind of continue talking too, the queen is like, this may sound cruel, but people have had horrific things forced upon them, and she's kind of talking about forcing the crown on Poppy, and I was just like, Mama Queen is not consent queen.
Yeah, basically,
We
like,
got
I
our
don't
consent
care
king,
about.
but not our consent queen. She's like, I don't care what you've been through. Take that fucking crown.
Yeah, didn't you kind of say that? Like, this happened to you, and I honestly don't care. She's like, I feel bad,
Yes.
but like, sorry.
Yep.
Everyone
Yeah,
goes
I'm
through
empathetic
shit.
to what you have suffered, but you're a descendant of the god.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. I have
go.
it here. She says, and I do not bring this up for you to carry that burden. From what I can tell, you already carry enough. I have a feeling if you were asked to take the crown today, you would refuse. I stared at her. Would you want me to accept it? And she responds with, I would want what's best for my kingdom.
I'm just
Yeah,
like, just say
dang.
yes, lady. But it can't be that
Do it.
easy. So at this point, Venetta shows up. And I am like, uh-oh, I do not feel good about this. And my thought instantly was, did something happen to Kieran's mom while she was having her baby? I will cry if either the baby or
Oh.
Kieran's mom didn't make it. Because Venetta's his sister, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So she showed up. I'm like,
Which I forgot about her.
No.
And then she showed
oh, I
up.
was so panicked. Because, oh no, something else happens like after this too that makes me think about, again, Kieran's mom. But yeah, I was just like, please don't be about Venetta or about Kieran's mom's baby. And then I went, oh God, is the random ascended Ian? Please don't let it be, oh my God, it's Ian. Please let it be a good reason that it's Ian. Please.
You
I
went
was just
through a
like-
whole journey.
Yes. You really wrote that. Like, I was just like, Ian? What?
Was not expecting this at this point, honestly.
I
Just
feel like I should have been expecting this, and I was not.
jumping back to the conversation she was saying about like it's your birthright, you kind of have to do it, whatever.
Yep.
And she said, but if you do decide to take what is yours by birthright, then all I ask is that you do it for the right reasons. And Poppy asked, well, what do you consider to be the right reasons? And she said, well, I don't want you to take the crown just to find your son, my son, or your brother. I don't want you to take the crown just so you can save lives or even stop the Ascended, she said. I was thoroughly confused now since they all seemed like excellent reasons to take the crown. And she says, I want you to take the crown because you love Atlantia, because you love her people and her land. I want you to love Atlantia as much as Castile does, as much as his father and I do. And that's what I want. If you don't love Atlantia now, I don't blame you. Like I said, you've not had the greatest of experiences, and I fear that you have not had the time to fall in love with it before you must make your choice. Concern broke through her grief. She was worried about this, gravely so. I felt my heart was beating so fast. How long do I have? Days. Maybe a little over a week, if you're lucky. If I'm lucky, I laughed, and the sound was as dry as bones. Castile had insinuated that they didn't have long, but days. So she's essentially saying, like, look, this war is going to break out. You either got to shit or get off the pot. Like, you taking this or not?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she wants Poppy to love Atlantia, but obviously Poppy's not there yet. Like, I think she loves parts of it, but, you know,
Yeah,
she's
how
nearly
could she?
murdered.
They
She's
so-
haven't
just
given her a
arrived.
lot to like.
Yeah.
Literally. Not the most warm welcome, Megan. But
More like a treason
anyway, I
welcome.
just wanted... She's kind of like putting that pressure on her. Like,
Yeah.
you must love my country, but also you only have a few days to decide if you love my
It is
country.
kind of shitty. She's like, I think that you're what is needed to stop this war, but only take the crown on my conditions. And it's like,
Yeah.
lady, look
Yeah.
it. She's already like willing to do this for you. Like, let that be enough.
Yeah.
That's just a little suspicious.
Just saying. Adding to the sus. That is funny.
Oh.
So we talked about Venetta showing up, and did
Yep.
we say like what she said? So she said a convoy of Ascended had arrived at Spessa's end. Does it still stand? I asked, fighting back the horror. She nodded, eyes locked with mine. They have not attacked. They wait. And a different kind of dread filled me. For us, they have requested an audience. So then she's like,
Dun, dun,
So-
wants to talk with you.
Yeah, Venetta is basically informing them that, and they say it's Ian, right? That Ian
yes, they do.
Yeah.
is,
Yep.
He claims to be your brother.
yeah,
Yeah.
is waiting to speak to Poppy. So
A random Ascended thinks that they have the right to ask for such a thing. And then she says it wasn't a random Ascended. He claims to be your brother.
it's getting
Which, did we
intense.
know that their last name was Balfour? Because I remember reading that. and I was like,
Yeah,
oh.
I mean, I wouldn't have been able to recall that if you had asked me, but once I heard it, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Same.
so chapter
Samesies.
30 starts as follows. I was moving before I realized it, coming to stand in front of Venetta. Did you? I stopped myself, willing my heart to slow. I had no idea if Venetta had traveled here by horse or in her woven form. Either way, I knew she hadn't stopped. A thread of weariness clung to her. I reached for her, clasping her hands. Are you all right? So this is just continuing about finding out, that Ian has arrived and what that looks like.
My
Yeah.
first immediate thought, I'm like, Poppy, how the fuck are you like, oh my god, he's ascended? Literally, we've spent 3 books, countless hours reading these books, and everyone's like, Poppy, he's ascended. Poppy, he's only seen at night, he's ascended. Poppy, he's ascended. She's like, oh my god. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You've only been told for how long he's unascended.
I know. I just
I
felt
don't-
for
I
her
don't-
though, because she's like, is he happy? Does he look happy?
I'm just like,
Oh.
she just seems so sad. Like, oh my god, he's actually ascended. And I'm like, yeah, no fucking shit.
Like, yeah, we knew this. Old news, Poppy.
We knew this
Oh,
from the
Liz.
beginning of book 1.
Yeah,
You told us. He's
but that
ascended.
it-
That's why he didn't write to me for a while.
Actually, that's so true. She was like, for a fact, Ian's ascended. I know he is. That's what happened. And then once she learned the truth, she's like,
Maybe he's not. Maybe he's not.
But I mean,
no,
can you blame her?
no, I mean, I totally get it. It
I
is
don't
just,
blame her, but it's like that back and forth again of, ugh.
you're like,
I know he's
"We're
ascended. He's
over this.
ascended.
Let's learn
Oh
more.
my god, he's ascended. I'm like, okay, pick your lane, Poppy.
Pick yourself up and put that crown on your head, Poppy.
Pick yourself up. It's fine.
So the exact conversation of how that went is
You didn't like my summary?
Poppy goes, and he was ascended, and Venetta says he showed up at night. She turns her hands, grasping
Which
mine.
wasn't a
and as she-
confirmation. They still don't confirm here.
It does.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yes, let
Yes.
me finish fucking reading. And she says he only showed at night. She turned her hands, grasping mine as she exhaled roughly. He was. She tried again. We can sense the vampire. He was ascended.
So
And Kristen's monologue.
when
Oh.
when she first sees Ian, though, isn't she also again shocked he's ascended? I feel like
Yes.
okay. That's why I'm like,
I
they
feel
didn't
like-
confirm it because she
like,
still seems
knowing
surprised.
something and seeing something, guys.
I
come
know,
on.
I know. I'm being very insensitive.
No,
about
look
Like,
at
it.
her
me.
shock here, like, she was so distraught over this. Like, I wonder, you can hear the wolves howl. I'm like, did Poppy project her emotions onto them? And then I think it's confirmed.
You're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'm like, she's so distraught over a fact she knew.
Okay, let's.
And she's had months to even like be like, okay, I think
To
he's
process
ascended.
it.
I don't really want him. She's had time to like kind of process it. It's not just like, oh my gosh, I know the truth about ascended. Oh my gosh, did Ian be ascended? He is ascended. She's had months to be people being like, Poppy, he's probably ascended.
Katie's like, stop being so rude. Like, to play devil's advocate, though, if you think I can think of a time in my life where it's like, okay, this is like 99% what's gonna happen, but you still like hold on to that small
Which is
hope.
what Poppy says
right?
right here.
So like it's human nature to, even though
She's not a
something is
human.
most
She's not
likely,
mortal.
okay, it's Atlantean deity god nature to have hope and convince yourself that that 1% chance is worth holding on to. Like, I do understand it because there's many things in my life that I have been
Her
ridiculously.
literal words. This shouldn't be news to me, but a part of me had hoped, had
See?
prayed that Ian hadn't. So
Yeah.
she
I do
is also
understand.
recognizing the fact
Yeah.
that, yes,
But she
this
got
shouldn't be a
so
surprise.
emotional, she cued off the wolves.
Okay, if you thought that your brother, there was a small little chance that he wasn't cray-cray, and then you found out he was cray-cray, I think you'd be pretty sad about it too.
And
My
really,
brother is a little cray-cray,
she-
so I've already accepted.
that is so funny. I hope he's listening. Also,
Anyway.
she never really gave herself the time to grieve it because she was
Yeah.
holding on to that hope for so long that as much as she's like, okay, this is probably the case, but maybe, it's like this was her
Yeah.
moment to, in front of everybody, unfortunately, grieve that confirmation. So there is
Yeah.
that.
And the exact words that she describes this grief that you guys are judging her for is an anger and grief rushed through me like a river swelling over its banks. Off in the distance, I heard the woven, mournful, whatever you guys talking about.
Howl, whatever you.
But she's fucking sad, assholes.
She is. I empathize with it for sure.
you?
No, I do. I definitely do.
I get it. I'm just like, I just feel like there's so much back and forth that I was
in
over
these
the back and
chapters,
forth.
there's a lot of back and forth. There's back and
Like,
forth
it's
with
like-
the queen.
He's ascended. Oh my god, he's not ascended. Like, it's back and forth.
He's my
I'm like,
brother.
okay,
No,
just
he's
pick your
not.
lane.
My mom's my real
Yes.
mom. No, she's not. I want you to take the crown. Yes, I do. No, I don't. Like, I see that.
Like, she's gonna be queen. She's gonna have to make decisions and not like
Y'all are mean.
constantly sway back and forth.
So I have a thoughts on Poppy calling on the wolves. So it's as if her thoughts and feelings in the moment are desire based, if that makes sense to say. Like, she was mad, but the emotion of being mad made her, in her brain, want to kill the people that did this to Ian. And it's almost like that very strong emotion and the want to do that to those people was an uncontrolled demand that she was giving to the wolves, if that makes sense to say. It's almost like because she had a desire in her mind, it was so strong that the wolven connection couldn't differentiate that as like a desire versus an actual act upon command from her. And I think that it makes sense due to how she's connected with the wolves. But I also feel like this is kind of showing us why it is so important that she learns to control that power, because she could very easily, in a very strong emotional state, make a decision that isn't even a decision of hers. It's just in the moment how she's feeling. And it could be strong enough that the wolves will act upon that desire that's in her head, even though it's not what she wants to actually do, if that makes sense. Like, I know she wants to kill them, but like they were basically going to kill anyone that was in front of them at this point. It kind of sounded like.
They saw everything as a threat.
Right. So I just thought that was interesting that we kind of learned a bit about her.
And she was also glowing when all this was happening.
Yes.
Like Castile's like, you know, like, I understand, like, you need to take a breath. You're calling the wolven, like, you're glowing, like, deep breaths.
Yes.
Fine.
Like,
Find your happy place.
I didn't think she was gonna calm as quickly as she did from this.
Yeah,
honestly.
she got it. Like, she's got a
I
good
was
handle
surprised.
on it.
Yes, and she was very like emotionally aware. Like when she kind of, once she kind of had that, like she could hear the wolves, it was like it clicked, and she's like, okay, I need to get a hold of myself. And
yeah,
I feel
because
like
she
that's
doesn't
huge.
want to be what happened to her
Exactly.
in the chambers. Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't want that.
Yeah.
And like it says here, like, the deep breaths cleared the blood-drenched fog from my thoughts. The clarity arrived, so did the realization that there is still a chance Ian wasn't completely lost. He's likely only 2 years into his ascension, and they trusted him to travel to Carcedonia and Spess's End. That has to mean something. That who he was before ascension hadn't been completely erased. The ascended could control their bloodlust, and they could also refuse to feed from those who were unwilling. Ian could be one of them, and he could have maintained control. There's still hope, and I latched onto that.
Yeah.
So
Which is good.
Yeah.
Like she didn't throw
she's
away
kind of
all
like,
hope.
okay, take a breath. all hope is not lost.
Yeah.
I just need to focus on the fact that there is still hope. Let's not lose our shit.
Yeah.
Like, focus on my little sliver of hope that you're judging her for.
No, I
Anyway.
get it. And the fact that in this moment,
All of
that's
it.
what like kept her level-headed again, right? Like that
Yeah.
1% hope. It's almost metaphorical in a way that even though it's 99% like devastating, that a 1% chance of hope can really hold everything together, which is kind of cool in a way, because it was literally what stopped her turmoil with the wolves was
Yes.
that hope there. So
Yeah.
kind of cool.
And like Kieran, after all of this, like, settles down. He goes, "That was wild." And Cass is like, "You could feel that. Like, you could feel she was angry." And then Vanetta chimes in, and she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "I actually felt it a couple days ago. All of the Wolven and Spezes ended, and they didn't know why. Like, when she initially
Yes.
went off or
Yeah.
whatever." And then
Mhm.
she says, "I have a lot of questions." And Kieran goes, "Great."
Of course you do.
I just thought it was funny.
Very. They're so cute.
That's so funny. I think they start kind of talking though, and I really get the sense, like, as they're talking, even just Cass being like, "Poppy, you need to calm down," and the way Poppy calms down so quickly, like, I think they're gonna be, not to bash the parents, but I feel like they're gonna be better rulers than their parents. Like,
I
I
feel
feel
the
like
same
they're
way.
kind of, and maybe Cass is just seeing what his parents have been through, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna learn from their mistakes, and that's like an ode almost to their relationship, if that's kind of how he's thinking too. Like, I respect what they did, and I want to do better
Mhm.
because our people deserve better, right? And
Mhm.
Well, and it helps
I
that
like-
she
I
was
just-
raised by also kings and
Yes.
queens or royalty, and she can clearly see what she does
Yeah.
not want.
Like, she's
Right.
so worried about it, but I'm like, you're gonna be a good queen, because it's like the worry that makes you.
Yes, that's
like,
why you'll be good, because
you
you
know?
care.
You're so, yeah.
This is probably what you're going off of on that, Kristen. But like, they're kind of like arguing back and forth about like, you should be putting the needs of the kingdom over the needs of your wife, and like,
Oh,
whatever.
yeah,
And
he
so
says a cute thing.
yes. So Valen says, "Son," his father began, "I can respect your desire to care for your wife's needs, but the kingdom always comes first, whether you are the prince or the king." And he says, "It's a damn shame if you really believe that," Castile replied, looking over his shoulder at his father. Because to me, attending to each other's needs ensures that the kingdom need can also be met. One cannot happen without the other." And then Poppy says, "I stared at Castile. Gods, there were times that I can't believe I had actually wanted to stab him in the heart. This was one of them."
She actually had stabbed him in the heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like that just shows, like, and then, they strengthen their relationship so that they can be a stronger king and queen.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, you can't fill a cup from an
It
empty
all
cup.
comes full circle.
It does.
Yeah.
I love it.
So at this point, like, I mean, Poppy has just already decided, like, I'm going to see Ian. It wasn't really like a question of are we not going to?
It literally says immediately.
Yes, exactly. So the person reading this book in me, obviously I'm like, yes, I want her to go see her brother because I want to, like, I want to know, I want to learn and all of that. But if I'm being like the logical person in this scenario, I think that they're really stupid to just be like, yep, okay, let's go meet him.
Yep.
Like, the king and queen have absolutely every right in this scenario to be upset. And it really does seem like, okay, everything looks so good. And now I'm like, maybe you guys aren't fit to rule, because literally the Kingdom of Solis is like, oh, Ian wants to talk to you. And you're like, all right, like, you're not even
Let's go.
literally, like, and I'm not saying, and I don't think either the king and queen, like, they're not saying don't go see your brother. They're just being like slow down, like, let's talk about it, let's make a plan, like, let's think about it, let's discuss how this is all gonna happen. Like, maybe Cass and Poppy go and bring an army with them, or whatever. Like, it's like there's not even a willingness to discuss it.
Yeah.
And that was very like, oh no, like, this doesn't look good on you guys as rulers. And I'm like, this is not gonna go good. So obviously I really, really wanted them to go still. And as the reader, I want to learn about what Ian wants. And I put a note here, I really want Ian to be good. And I love the fact that Vanetta said that Ian said that he was trying to prevent a war and would like to talk to his sister. But again, how true is that? That could easily be a trap. Maybe that's what they want Penelope. They know that that's what Penelope would want to hear, and that would be enough to lure her in. I am still thinking and hoping that maybe he is not ascended in some way, shape, or form at this point. And then I put, oh my God, crockpot theory. Okay, so my crockpot theory on this, and it's more of a wishful thinking theory, but am I correct in saying that the Ascended did not exist before the gods went to sleep? Right? Melech was the
Yes.
first person to
Yes.
ascend someone.
Yeah.
And
he did it because they were sleeping.
Yes. Side question to this: how did he know that draining someone's blood?
He didn't.
And so he's
I
like,
don't
I'm
think he
gonna
did.
just let her bleed out, and then
Science.
Interesting. Okay. So back on track.
It was an
Maybe
experiment.
Yes.
because the gods have never been awake while the Ascended have existed, that the gods will have the power to unascend someone. And if Ian is ascended, maybe there is a
They can
way
fix him.
to unascend Ian. Yes. So
I
not
still don't
really a
think he's
crockpot
actually-
theory, but more of a like, I really hope this is going to be a thing
Yeah.
theory.
Yeah.
There's the optimism. Welcome.
Here it is.
welcome.
I'm getting more optimistic. Woo. And then so also I don't like, am I correct to say that when she was in the temple and like unleashed her power, that was before she was ascended?
Yeah.
And that was also before the Ascended saw her when Alistair was like trying to deliver her to them, right? Like she did that. Alistair had her locked up in the bones
Yeah.
and then tried to deliver to the Ascended.
Correct.
So like at this point, I don't think that the Ascended realize how big of a threat she really is. Like they don't know unless
Yes.
they have the knowledge of what she could be. That's the only reason they
Yeah.
would know. But we
Right.
don't really know that they know that she has all this
As
power at this
far
point.
as like Poppy and Cass know, they don't know how powerful she is
Right?
because he repeatedly tells her like, don't show your cards. They don't know how much your gift has grown. Like he says
Mhm.
that to her.
So like
I think they have an inkling of what she might be, but I don't think they know the full.
Like nothing confirmed.
And I
Yeah.
think maybe there's a big amount of confidence here with them in being like, let's just go see Ian, because in theory, she could just like wipe out every Ascended that shows up there, right? Like they kind of do feel that like safety net in the power that she has. So then a part of it me is like, okay, maybe it's not as crazy of an idea for them to go. I just wish that they would have like more open to, not they, Poppy, would have been more
Right.
willing to just discuss it, not say no or yes, but let's talk about what we're going to do.
Yeah.
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 But-
So they're leaving to go meet with Ian, and they're riding the horseback, and some of the Wolven are going with them. And then like as they're riding or whatever, because Cass still doesn't really know what they talked about when she was just her and her mom.
Right.
So she's
Mhm.
like essentially saying like, I think your mom wants me to take the throne. And he's like, well, that doesn't surprise me. And she's like, it doesn't. And he goes, no, she'll always put the needs of her kingdom above like even what would make her happy. So he's like, that doesn't surprise me. And then he says like what about your dad? Like, cause he was chatting with his dad while they were gone.
Yeah.
And he's like, he doesn't really know what to think about like all of this, but
It's interesting that Kristen and I are so suspicious of the Queen when literally the dad cannot feel his emotions. He's blocking them, has literally said nothing to this point. We have no idea what he's thinking, and we haven't like once been like, man, he's sus. Like
Because
I
you
never
guys are
thought about it.
sexist. I do.
I did
my
not. I know.
next comment is that I want to trust them both, but I still feel suspicious.
Yeah, maybe because they don't talk about him, but like he is like not even on my radar. I was like, oh yeah, he has a dad. Like he really
And I'm
wasn't
like,
involved in much of
la-di-da.
anything in these conversations. Like
Yeah.
he was.
I don't fully
low-key.
trust both of them.
I feel like that's justified. At this point,
Well,
'cause we
even
don't know
like
for
Katie
sure.
just said, like she'll put the needs of the kingdom over the needs of her own. So like she could be like, no, Poppy, like even though she's a deity, she could have all this power like Malik did, and that's not good for the kingdom. And she could like kill Poppy off, putting the needs of her kingdom over like the needs of her
But
own
I
self,
think
which would
she
be like seeing her son
thinks-
happy. I don't think that's like
What she wants to
true,
do.
but
Yeah.
like that could be a thought in her mind.
Yeah,
Obviously,
nothing
like,
is
she
off the
ha-
table.
Poppy is good for the kingdom.
I think she thinks that
Well,
too.
yes, like
but I
I think in this case that's what she thinks, but like that was just like an offside saying, like she's saying that she's putting the needs of her kingdom above the needs of like herself, which is what you have to do as a ruler. But if she thought that, that would
Like, it
be
could
like
be
a reason
bad.
to not trust you. I don't think she does think that
Yeah.
though.
But anything's on the table is basically like she will do literally
Yes.
anything. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as in her mind it's the
Yes.
best for the kingdom. Like regardless of what
Yeah.
it is, which could
Yeah.
kind of be a scary thing too.
Yes.
If you think like Alistair, which he was also doing, it's
Yes.
just
True.
He was evil. But to close off this chapter, this is how we end. He doesn't know what to think. He's more reserved than my mother when it comes to revealing what he is thinking. This is talking about Castile's dad. Castile said, always has been, but he knows that if you claim the crown, there is little he or the elders can do. So just summarizing kind of what Katie said there and what the
Sorry, I
kings-
jumped ahead of you there. My bad.
No, all good.
Chapter 31. So it starts off as we left Scions,
Scions, yeah.
Scions Cove and passed through the pillars of Atlantia once more. We caught Vanetta up on all that had happened since we'd last seen her. The sorrow she felt from Beckett lingered long after she'd taken her woven form, and we crossed the meadow of flowers. So they're just going
because she
back
didn't
and-
know about Beckett yet. It's so sad.
This is when this is when I cried because I'm like,
Right? It's like you're reliving
my
that.
baby boy.
Yeah.
It's so true, though.
Literally, it's so tough.
yeah.
And like I think I was reading in bed, so he's like right there next
Oh,
to me too. It was
the
very
worst.
sad.
So I'm not 100% sure when this happens, but because right now they are on their way to go to where Ian wants to meet them. Correct?
Yeah.
And I hate to even put this out into the universe, but I felt really uneasy when Kirha said to Jasper, because Jasper was going to come along and Poppy was like, no, like, it's okay. You're going to have a baby, blah, blah, blah. Right? Like that was, I think, around this time.
It was technically the end of last chapter, but yes.
Was it? Okay. But it was right as they were about to like leave here.
Yes. Yes.
So Kirha says, don't worry about Jasper. I'm not going to have this baby in the next week. Jasper
thought the same.
will be here for the birth. And that to me put a really bad omen out there. And now I'm scared that he is going to be killed while he is out with them and that he is not going to meet his baby. And I was like, I hate to put this out in the universe, but did not like the fact that that was said with such certainty to be like ripped out. So I
My
hope
mind
to
went there,
God
too.
that
I
does not
just
happen.
definitely just took it as like she's like I've been pregnant a few times.
Oh.
I know
She's
my
like, "I've done this
body. I know
before."
what to.
No.
Yeah, I know it's not coming in the next day or two.
I just
We're
hope that
fine.
I hope I'm wrong on that, but like, oh, I was like,
I hope
I
you are too,
don't
'cause that makes me
feel-
really sad.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't feel good about this. Please prove me wrong.
So right after they tell Vanetta everything about Beckett too, like you know, they're riding away and she's like busy
Riding
herself
away.
riding my pony. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my head did not
Got
go
you.
there.
So she is busying herself like finding each of the woven and their like unique imprints. And
Oh, I loved this.
as much as I hate it, I'm like, this could come very in handy in a war.
Yeah.
I made
Especially because she could talk to him. She'd be like, I'm
That's
gonna
cool.
find
The
Jasper's sense
talking.
and be like, Jasper, go over here.
And they each have like their own little like tell that it's them.
Yes.
so
Yeah, I love that
It's
part.
it's cute, but I'm like, that could come handy in war.
I just laugh now.
Just saying.
Anytime I read anything in these books and it talks about the scent of something, I literally just think about you now, Katie, because how you made that comment about like, you know, how it smelled like a
Cedar?
spring morning on the summer's
like, what the fuck does
eve.
spring morning
you
smell
know?
like?
So I just want to call out that when Poppy gave this description of all the wolves' imprints, they felt like warm smoke and cedar
What the fuck
white
is that?
oak and the minty, freshly cut grass. And I know that Katie just loves descriptions like that.
Can I
so-
just say-
Freshly cut grass does have
I
a scent,
agree,
though.
but
it's not minty.
like
ooh,
feels
peppermint.
It feels
I'm gonna cut my
like
grass.
cedar, and it feels like white oak. Like the texture. What do you mean?
Yeah.
So like
Oh.
every time I just think of you now. So just say no.
I love
But
it.
also while they are traveling, I'm just, you know, in my reading brain coming up with theories. So I'm wondering if Ian is going to be indoctrinated into all that the Ascended tell him, but like maybe he's good inside, but they have convinced him that the Ascended are good. And he became Ascended and still somehow thinks they're good because of the lies that they're telling. And I think that because they're probably going to tell him lies like they always have, but then they can sprinkle in little truths about it, I wonder if they've actually explained to him about Poppy, what she is. Maybe they even said, like, you actually do share a mother, you don't share a father. This is who her father is. They probably didn't say, like, what actually happened to, like, but that this is who her father is, and she's very strong. She's the rightful whatever, and, the Atlanteans are stealing her away, what have you. So, and maybe they tell him that, like, Poppy's his half-sister, and that this, like, I just, at this point, I mean, I think now that this is obviously, again, proven not true, but I was worried that he was good, but still thought that the Atlanteans were good based off of the story that was being told. Like, I didn't think that he was I didn't think he was ascended and bad ascended. I thought he was ascended and still believed their lies that they were good somehow.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then
that's
also,
a fair assumption because
do
he
you
doesn't
have
know anything different.
something to add to that?
Okay. So just one thing I wanted to note, when they're traveling, because they've traveled this path before, obviously, right?
Yes.
Because I think they're going to Spess's End,
Yeah.
I think, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
They make note how because remember the first time the fog was so thick and she almost
Yes.
walked off the cliff,
Yes.
and like she makes note this time. She's like, it's not. How did she word it? It's different. It's thin vapors that trails along the moss blanketed ground instead of just a thick mist that obscured the trees and the steep tops. And Castile's like says to her, I think it's you. You said that you thought the mist reacted to you before. You were right. It now recognizes your blood. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's a good thing to note, actually.
Anyway, just a little aside there. On to your next note, Mando.
So it's just like more of a funny thing. So when they first get to Spess's End, if that's where they were going, I just found it funny that Poppy says to Kieran, you guys must rest. Like, she sees them and she feels like guilty that they're all like tired because of her and all of this. And then she's like, you guys have to rest. And then like immediately after, Poppy goes, I can't rest, when Cass is like, you need to rest. I'm like, Poppy, like, oh my God, they have to rest, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, but I can't.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Cattle.
Yeah. I just thought it was funny. That's all. So I have a note here about Poppy getting defensive against Cass, and it really bothered me because, like, she's getting really defensive to Cass, and Cass is just like, okay, we just need to talk about tonight because it could be a trap. And Poppy basically said, are you trying to stop me from seeing my brother? After all of this, him agreeing to come unquestioningly, and the fact that it could be a trap is not worth talking about to her at all. And instead, when Cass says, like, okay, can we talk about tonight? She's accusing him of, like, withholding her from her brother, which is not what's happening. And I just felt like, I get that it's like a sense of, not a sense, but she's in a position of like deep emotion, right? She's not thinking straight, and I get that kind of thing, but it's really unfair that the way that she's like, what, you don't want me to see my brother? When that's not at all what this is about. And he's just trying to start a conversation with her, similar to what his mom was trying to do before they left. And whether that happens now or when they were on their drive, it just kind of like rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, Poppy, like, where's your logic? Because she's always been very logical in this. And he's basically saying, let's go in with a plan. And she's so blinded by the love of her brother and wanting to see him like right away. And she says something, I think, like, if it was Malek, like, how would you feel? I think, or something along those lines. And she said, you came to Solis, right? Is that the kind of the comparison she made? Was that like, well, you came to Solis when you wanted to go see your brother, like you wouldn't have let anyone stop you. And I agree with that. But the difference between her comparing what Cass did compared to what she's doing, Cass had a plan. His plan was executed. She has no plan. She's just going to go in there and see what happens. Like, he knew he needed Rylan killed. He needed to become her guard. He needed to this, that, the other thing. I think that it's unfair of her to be coming at him like as if he's trying to stop her when he is doing it from a place of concern and just like I don't want you to die, or I also don't want you to be hurt. Like, can we just talk about it? And I
feel like this is kind of...
Oh, you go, Kristen. You go.
I feel like this is kind of like a trend kind of with Poppy. Like, I know we talked about it, I think in 6. And a lot of times, like, Cass is like, how are you, Poppy? Like, how are you? Like, in a way, she's selfish. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
I don't think she's
like,
purposefully selfish.
I don't, it's not on purpose. It's not, she's like, it's all about me. But, like, Cass has been like, how are you? Like, I'm checking in with you. How are you? And she never does that to him. Yeah. And then the moment he's kind of like, hey, let's just, let's take a step back. Let's make a plan. And she's like, how dare you? Like, why are you stopping me from seeing my brother? Like, she's not seeing that it comes from a place of concern. And I think it's just part of just a byproduct of how she was raised.
Of
Like, she never had these
course.
choices. So now she's like, I have this choice.
Don't
I'm
take it away
making
from
this
me.
choice.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, let's just spend 5 minutes to talk about this. And
Yeah.
it's just, it makes me a little
I'm just sad
sad.
for Cass, really, in the whole thing.
Yes. Like, speak your truth, Poppy, but yeah.
But I totally understand why it's happening. And I get that she was literally forced to do everything by someone else's
Yeah.
rules. And this probably appeared to her, and again, a moment of high emotional turmoil that
And trauma.
her freedom,
Mhm.
exactly, was about to be taken away. And she was like this close to seeing her brother. Like, I understand why it's happening. It just hurts my
Yeah.
heart a little bit for Cass because of how
Yeah.
defensive it came off. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, you think like he's your husband, like, and they seem to marry for like the good reasons. Like,
Mhm.
you know, it's, yeah.
And like
I'm
he,
there with you.
and
No
he says like,
relationship is
you know,
perfect,
I will
but-
never stop you from defending yourself or for picking up a sword or a bow or fighting. He said, coming forward, I held my ground, but I also won't let you walk right into a trap with arms open.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, because we just talked about like how she sent these really powerful emotions to the wolf. So I think, Mandy, you said like desires. I'm like, I just think it's like, I just wonder if it's just
Oh.
strong emotions. I'm like,
I
do you
never
think
thought
she's
that.
sending these out to the wolf and then like they're
Ooh,
out there having an
I'd
orgy?
never considered that.
Taco,
But-
taco.
And like,
Interesting.
can you
But,
just
like, who
imagine how
asked? Like,
embarrassed
do
she
you
might
ask?
be
Like, you
too?
just-
Yeah.
You better to not know.
She
I'm
may
just
not
gonna-
know, and I can just imagine like Kieran like smirking at her or something, and
Because they
she's
say
like,
the
"What?"
wolves have no shame, right? They're just like, it's natural.
Yeah, they don't care.
like,
Yeah.
So, like,
It's
I
like
don't
an
think
animalistic look to it, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're naturally
no-
wolves.
Yes.
Yes.
No spoilers, but it made talking about that made me think of Fourth Wing
Me
between
too.
two characters
Me
that
too.
are bonded.
I thought the exact
Oh
same
yes.
thing.
Yes.
If you know, you know.
Yep. I thought it too. Once you
That's
said
what
that, I
made
was
me
like,
think of.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I
That
want
just
that funny
amused
thing.
me.
Okay, I lied. I have a couple things about the spice, but they're kind of lame. The first one is just the description in the book. His arousal is pressing against my hip. And I'm like, oh, is it? The arousal is what's pressing against your hip? I don't think so. I think it's something else, but I just thought it was really funny the way that was described. And I literally
know.
laughed out loud.
It always makes me laugh, but then I've read scenes where they're like, she's like, his cock
I
pressed
know.
against my
I'm
hip,
like-
and I'm like, I don't know what's more awkward.
I
Like, I
know.
don't want to like
I'm like,
more.
are we being like sweet
at
and
least
like, I don't know, is
the
that
arousal is like, oh, like exotic.
yes, and then or is it like, hard and to the point and it's just like so
Oh.
funny.
See,
or
I'm
like,
just too much in my moment. I don't take notes for that.
I thought it was so
Literally,
funny.
like I'm
Even-
flipping through the pages, nothing is highlighted.
I just
You're like, ooh la la,
I-
ooh la la, ooh la la.
I stopped and I still like write my notes down. I'm like, I feel like I should just type them on my phone, but now I've committed to a bit and I'm like, I have to finish the book off. So like, I think they're like mid sex scene and Cass is saying like, he's Poppy's forever. I'm like, now that she's part deity, does that change like the heart bond? And I'm like, will it be easier to get to the gods because she's connected to them and do that like heart bond ritual thing that they have to do?
Like you mean now that she's
That
come
was
to
my
her
whole thought.
power?
What is
Because
that
wasn't she
called?
technically always a deity?
Yeah, but they didn't know that. And
right.
there was like,
so now
you
that
go
we're,
through the
like,
trials. So they were like, fuck, how are we going to go through the trials when the gods are asleep? And now they know she's part deity. So do they think it's going to be easier to get to the gods? Be like, hey, we want to do these trials because
Hey,
we're hot bonds.
grandpapa, I want to do trial.
Yeah.
Wake up, grandpapa.
This is what I'm questioning while they're doing the hanky panky.
Not while she's half dirty.
I am literally like 5, 6, 7, 8 pages. No, nothing highlighted.
You were into the moment.
You're like,
Nothing.
I'm in this.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. You're on
So-
your own for this part.
I had a decent note here. So this is in regards to the promise that Poppy makes to Cass while they're mid-coitus.
Okay,
I like
Sheldon.
that. While she was half dirty. So I'm not sure how I feel about this because he I don't think this was intentional, but I kind of felt like this was a manipulation.
Yeah, I also flagged
tactic,
this. That
and
was
I'm
my
like,
first flag.
okay, to make her promise something when she is in such a vulnerable state, like obviously she was going to say, I promise, to literally whatever he said because of what they
Yeah.
were doing and how she was feeling at that point. And
Yep.
immediately after they were done their deed, she literally admits to herself, yeah, I might not be able to keep that promise.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
exactly.
honestly, break that. The fact that he
Right.
felt that it was okay to manipulate you into getting the answer that he wanted by asking that in that moment, like, that's on him. I was
Yeah.
not cool.
I don't know if he
with
did that
that.
intentionally though.
And I don't
like,
know if it was intentional, but
I think he's just like he's feeling all these strong emotions, and like
but promise
it
me you
could
won't
go
do this
either
one thing
way.
that will save your life. I'm
But
like, why are
I
you thinking
really
about
love,
that?
like, I love you. Like, please don't. Like, I love you. I'm worried about losing you. Like, I get
Yeah.
it. It doesn't make it feel any better.
Yeah.
But I do see both sides
Yes.
there.
But I was just like,
Yeah, I
"Oh."
thought it was kind of icky. I didn't
Yeah,
like it.
I was
That was
not-
my first highlight in the whole
was
section.
not a big fan of that.
It was like
but-
10 pages, and that was my first one.
But like, and that
That's
doesn't
your
even
first
come
one.
to anything. Wasn't the promise like if you need to do what you have to
Just
do
wait.
with Ian, but you're not ready, then just don't do it. That was the
Or
promise.
if it's a
No,
risk
I'll-
to you,
so it
or
just
something
wait.
like that.
if Ian is what you fear and giving him peace is something that you cannot safely carry out,
That's right.
then
Don't.
promise me that if it puts you at risk, you won't attempt it and that you will wait until it's safe. Promise me that.
Mhm.
And then
Got you. Okay.
she said the words spilled from me, I promise.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then they went back to bang, bang, bangity bang.
Towards the end, though, like, I'm sure you guys are just in the sex scene. At least Katie, I know.
Yeah, definitely.
Katie is.
That was
Um,
my
I
only
was gonna
highlight. That was
say
my only
balls deep.
contribution.
Literally. Sorry,
I was
Mom.
admiring the arousal.
the arousal
Um,
against her hip.
Yeah.
It literally says, like, we became twin flames, burning bright and uncontrollable, lost to the fire. And, like, I don't know if you guys know this. I feel like twin flames, there's something about them where, like, they can be toxic to each other and literally burn each other out. I'm like, I really hope that this is not
Interesting.
foreshadowing. She's just saying, like, they're both rising up there together for the release.
I didn't catch
Um,
Didn't
that.
even
But
catch that.
I'm
you're like, uh-oh.
I'm
I
worried.
feel some sinisterness behind this comment.
Yeah. So that ends our chapter and ends. So Castile and I, dressed as the last traces of sunlight slipped over the floor, both of us donning the extra black tunics I'd packed. I did manage to eat some of the roasted chicken that had been delivered to the room, and we were able to freshen up. I took my time smoothing my hair into a braid. Vanetta arrived shortly after, her striking features tense. They're here. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so with that, we're ending our coverage of chapter 31. And since Amanda won last week, she gets to do the bookish breakdown.
All right, bookworms. So I get the pleasure of hosting this week's Bookish Breakdown. The girls do not know yet what I have planned, but I'm very excited about it and eager to see who will get a point added to
I
our
need to
points
fucking get on the board here, friends. This is
Bragging
mine.
rights. I was kind of thinking it's literally just bragging rights. Like that's the only purpose of this board.
We need to
which
put
is
something on the
hilarious.
table.
Yeah.
Like, how
I know.
about the first one to get to like 10 wins or something? The other two have to go in and buy a book for that person of their choice. So like if
Interesting.
I'm the first one at 10 points, you two, I'm like, okay, I want Crescent City 3, and you two have to split it and buy it for me. So you each pay half.
Oh, that's kind of
All
fun.
right.
I'm
That
down
sound
with
fun?
that.
Do
I'm
we
down
think
with
10
that.
points?
Sure.
Yeah, because that could take like 30 bookish breakdowns
Yeah,
potentially.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
You heard it here first, folks.
I gotta
Um,
start shopping.
So let's get into it. In today's bookish breakdown, there will be 2 rounds to this game that
So is that
differ
2 points?
slightly. No.
Damn it.
No, but at the end, whoever has the most points collectively after both rounds
Okay.
wins the point. Okay. So each round is a little bit different than each other, and this is how it works. In round 1, I will read 4 quotes from the Blood and Ash series. The quotes will only come from the books and chapters that we have read so far. So it will actually cover up until chapter 38 from A Crown of Gilded Bones. However, none of this is actually from past, I think, 31 anyway. So we're good in that route. The
Okay.
first 4 quotes will have a blank in them, and you two will need to buzz in Whoever buzzes in
Oh,
first
fun.
will get to fill in the blank as to what you think the answer is.
Is that what we need the chat for?
You got it. So
Okay.
if you're right, you get a point just for that round, not like win point. And if you're not right, then the other person obviously gets a chance to answer. If you both get it
Ooh.
wrong, no points will be given for that quote. And now you may be wondering, how do I buzz in? So we have a chat feature here. People that are watching, you won't see the chat, but what you have to do is you have to chat buzz. So have it typed up so you can just bleep.
I was going to say, can I type it right now?
Yes. However, your chat buzz doesn't count unless you also make a verbal noise for our listeners that are audio only. And I was going to say, you can pick whatever noise you want.
That'll
Doesn't
be
have
mine.
to be buzz. So, okay, that's your buzz, Katie. Kristen, you can choose however you want to buzz in. You can say buzz or what have you.
It's just pressure.
I know it is. But I thought for listeners, they're not going to know who buzzes in unless we make a
Yes.
noise. So those are the rules. So the second round, I'm also going to read a quote, but this time I will read a full quote and you need to tell me who said it.
Oh, fun.
Okay. So the first 4 are fill in the blank. The second 4 is who said it. Now, if
And is
you...
this, sorry
Go
to
ahead.
interrupt you,
No, go
is
ahead.
this all just this part of the book that we've read, or is it the whole series?
The whole
that we've
series
read this
up
far?
until what we've
Okay.
read.
So like books 1 and 2 are
Correct.
on the table too.
Correct.
Oh, damn. Okay. Okay.
Now,
I'm scared.
if you would like, I have made note, like, for example, the first ones that are fill in the blank, I do have who said it and what book it was said in.
If
So
we
I
need
think,
hints.
yes, if both of you don't know, the first person that buzzed in and tried, I will then give you the hint and give you another chance, I think, if we
Okay.
find that these are too hard. But I'm hoping that they won't be. So if you're ready, I will give you the first quote.
I feel so stressed.
Fill in the
Me
blank.
too.
Okay. Get your buzzes ready, folks. Here is
Okay.
the very first quote. Everything has been taken from me. My free will, my choice, my blank, and I still have to suffer through the Duke's lessons.
Ooh.
Everything
know-
has been taken from me. My free will, my choice, my blank.
Oh,
I remember her saying this too.
I don't even remember this.
It was Poppy saying it, and it is in the first book. I don't know if that's any help to you, but
Okay, read my what, and
my free will, my choice, my blank.
can we get a multiple choice?
But
Kristen
is it
Buzz.
future?
Yes!
Oh,
Kristen! Yeah! Nice. I was like,
Also,
oh no,
what was your
they're
buzz,
too
a
hard.
burp?
I don't even know. It was just a noise, and I'm like, go for it.
I'm like, Kristen's malfunctioning. And then I look at the chat and she's like, buzz!
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. So 1 point for Kristen so far.
I had to get it in before like she started giving a hint because I'm like, I know it.
Right? You're like, I got it. Okay. Number 2. This one I think is going to be hard. Now that I'm reading it, but it's a creature with blank for legs and tails for arms that hides under the beds of children, waiting until the lights are turned off.
I remember them
Oh.
talking about this.
A creature with blank. Oh, Katie.
Is it tongues?
No.
Damn it. I remember being something weird.
Can you give me the quote again?
Yep. It's a
With
creature
no hints.
with blank for legs and tails for arms that hides under the
Fins?
beds. Fins is correct.
I didn't-
Kristen.
I didn't hit buzz.
No, it's
Does it
okay because
count?
Katie buzzed and answered, so you just get a free answer because she already tried.
Damn it.
Kristen and Katie. 2-0, folks.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
know.
But it's still anybody's game.
It is.
Number 3. You're an absolutely stunning blank little creature. Katie,
Violent.
wrong.
Fuck. I was so sure
You're
on
an
that one.
absolute.
You're an absolutely stunning blank little creature.
An absolute stunning blank little creature.
Yeah.
And Katie said violent, and that was wrong.
And I
Correct.
can't guess again until she guesses, right?
Correct.
You're an absolute blank. Stunning. fierce?
No.
That's not right.
Okay, can
I'm
I
like,
guess again?
immediately, that's not
Yeah.
right.
La, 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 la. Is it magnificent?
No, but that's a good guess too.
Fuck!
You were on the closer track with your first two.
Oh,
You're
no,
fierce and
I can't
violent.
do it again, can I?
No, Kristen gets another
Shit.
chance.
I think I know it for real this time. Don't guess it, Kristen. Don't. do
You're
it.
an absolutely stunning blank little creature.
And violent and fierce were wrong, and that's on the closer
Yeah.
train. Oh my gosh. You're an absolute. I know. I'm like, ah.
Do you want to move to
I
the next
don't
question and come
know.
back to it, or you can forfeit?
Um,
I should have put a
I'm
time limit on
like,
it, but
I know. I'm like, words are hard. I want to say like ravishing, but I don't think that's right.
No.
Can I guess
Yeah, I
again?
think so.
Yeah, last one.
Aggressive?
No.
No, that's not right. I'm like, I know it's.
You're an absolutely stunning, murderous little creature.
Ah,
Should have known that
Castiel.
one.
damn
Book
it.
2. Okay, last fill in the blank. The moment the ether in your blood became blank, those who attacked you should have known exactly what you were, what you are.
Okay, read it one more
The
time.
moment the ether in your blood became blank, those who attacked you should have known exactly what you were, what you are.
Ether in your blood became.
I'm going to give a 10-second countdown just so we can, for time. Kristen first.
Active, but I don't think that's right.
Nope, it's
That's
not.
what I
But
was.
that's a
That's
good
what I was
guess.
gonna guess too.
Oh, really?
Okay. I gotta guess something then.
5.
Um,
I'll give you 10 more seconds then. 10. Five.
Fuck, that's hard.
I know.
I don't know. I don't fucking
2,
know.
1. It is visible. The moment the ether
Oh.
in your blood became visible. That was Queen
Visible.
Iloana. So,
That's a weird way to put it.
I know it is weird. Now we are 2-0 for Kristen, and we're going to jump into our 4 Who Said It questions. Now, I will give you guys the option. I do have it's multiple choice in the sense of I have 2 people that I can tell you, or I can tell you no one and you can just guess.
I think
So
no
I
one and we guess, and then
Yeah,
the 2
and if
people are
we
the
need
hints.
the multiple
Okay.
choice, then it's worth half the point.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1. You treat the ascension as if it may very well be your death when it's the exact opposite. It's life. It's a new beginning. It is a blessing. Katie.
Is it Lord Asshole? Lord Mazine?
Nope.
Damn it.
Nope.
Is it the? Oh my gosh, the Duchess that. Duchess Tierman?
No. No, but she was one of my multiple choices. So I'm going to just give this one away. I think we both guessed once. It's Tawny.
Oh. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, I don't think I would have guessed that.
Number 2. Fear and bravery are often one and the same. It either makes you a warrior or a coward. The only difference is the person it resides inside.
Is it Poppy?
Katie? No.
Fuck.
Oh my god, her father figure. Oh my god, what is his name?
Is that your final? If that's your final answer, I'll give it to you.
Yes.
But it's not Victor.
Victor.
It is Castiel
Oh.
in book 1.
We're not doing great with this.
We are not. The
Now,
listeners are probably like,
Katie-
"You idiots."
If you don't get both of these next ones,
Yeah,
You're
no
out, but we'll
fucking
still do the
pressure. I
both.
get it.
we'll still do them both, though. Sometimes the heartbreak that comes with loving someone is worth it, even if loving that person means eventually saying goodbye to them.
But
Kristen. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm
Poppy.
lying to you.
My buzz
Oh.
was first
But
in
Katie-
the chat.
yeah,
and
I
I'm
know,
pretty sure
I
made it
know.
first.
You did. I'm sorry.
It's
Kristen
Poppy
was
this
the
time,
last
right?
buzz I seen. Say it again.
It's Poppy this
I made the
time?
noise
No.
first, yeah.
It's not Poppy.
Off.
But
I feel like
now-
I can't. I said Poppy too
because that would have
because
been
you said
your
my
guess.
name. That was
Do you
my
want to
guess.
just guess a second guess? I don't think you guys will get this one. This is one of the harder ones, in my opinion.
You wanna?
Okay, say it again.
Sometimes
Say it
love-
again.
Sometimes
yeah.
the heartbreak that comes with loving someone is worth it, even if loving that person means eventually saying goodbye to them.
Is it Kieran?
It is Kieran.
Damn, Kristen! Holy F!
It's when like she first is like basically saying to Kieran that like she has feelings for him kind of thing. And
That's
he's like,
why I was like, I feel like it's when like she's admitting feelings, or like he
Yeah.
is like telling her, yeah, you have feelings, you idiot.
Last one. The risk is worth it. Knowing you can protect yourself, I would gladly take whatever punishment I received, and I wouldn't regret what I've done.
But
Oh, Katie got the first buzz. Sorry, Kristen. I know your
That's
audible
okay.
was.
Doesn't matter. She won already anyway. I'm just trying not to get shut out.
Go ahead, Katie.
Is it Hawk?
No.
oh, that was my guess.
No.
I have a second guess if Kristen doesn't get it.
Okay, say the quote again, because my guess was Hawk, actually.
The risk is worth it, knowing you can protect yourself. I would gladly take whatever punishment I received, and I wouldn't have regretted what I've done.
Victor?
Yeah.
That was my second guess. Motherfucker! I was gonna say it too.
So Kristen is the winner.
I got
Shut
shut
up.
I'm
out.
gonna put a tick here on our inaugural board.
I still don't have one.
Next time.
See if we can shake my pen.
Your pen is?
Officially in the lead, Kristen. Look at you go.
Bitch.
I went off vibes.
That was fun though. Even though
That
I
was
sucked.
fun.
Wasn't
I
it?
wondered
was
when
like,
you were
oh, no.
asking, when you were wondering about the books, I'm like, it's gonna be like a guess the quote game.
Yeah, sure is.
But I didn't look into any of the. I'm not even gonna like
try to.
speculate on this.
Yeah.
This is my guess, and I'm gonna walk away.
That's funny. You were right.
All
But
right.
yeah, that finishes off our bookish breakdown, folks. Hope you enjoyed
Katie
it.
sucks.
With the non-competitive one in the lead.
It's always
like
how
to
it goes
say.
because you don't
Yeah.
care. And that's what makes it even more annoying for us.
Yeah, it's like how the beginner's luck
You don't
almost, but it's like
appreciate it.
I will laugh if I'm the first one to
Aw.
10, and I don't care. You guys are like, I have to buy her a fucking book.
I wanted the fucking
that is gonna
book.
happen. That is.
I will
Definitely.
laugh. I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
I feel like we low key deserve it. So.
Are you though? Are you?
I am actually.
Well, hi, friends. I hope you enjoyed that bookish breakdown. Katie and Kristen here, little in the future recording for you. Woo. So I bet you're wondering.
Ghosts of future.
Yeah, exactly. You're probably wondering where Amanda is. We're planning some special stuff that Amanda can't be a part of yet because it's a surprise. So it's just the two of us.
Yes.
And two, you're probably wondering, hey, I just watched this bookish breakdown and you guys went from 1 to 3. Where did point number 2 go?
The math ain't math in there.
Math ain't math.
Friends.
And Kristen, help explain what happened.
See what happened was we recorded an episode and we're like, yeah, we're just going to release these all in sequence. And then the author said, hi, friends, I'm going to release a book in the fall. And we're like, oh, maybe we release that closer to fall then so that it's all fresh in everyone's memories.
Yes. But Kristen, what book is this that you're referring to?
Well, there's a few coming out in the fall. There's a few. We have options here.
We do.
And
indeed.
there might be dragons in this book.
Ooh.
There might be a certain professor we all love. 'Cause he's not a wing leader anymore.
Oh!
So if you haven't guessed it, the book series that we are going to have some special coverage coming in the fall is the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros.
Yeah.
We're
So-
pretty excited about it.
Very excited. So just to peel the curtain back a little, Amanda had not read the series when we started the podcast, which is why we didn't start with, because Kristen and I love the series and we've been trying to get Amanda to read it
Yes.
forever. So what we did was we had Amanda read them, and we kind of get her first reactions, and Kristen and I ask questions, and it's just a fun little lighter episode, not as much as our
Yes.
in-depth coverage. So yeah, we had a lot of fun with it, and we were going to release it as just a bonus. And then Rebecca Yarrow said, "Surprise! I came out of retirement."
Mike, book drop. Not mic drop, book drop.
Could be a mic for the audiobook listeners.
Yeah, very fair. Fair point.
So anyway, we hope you guys like it. But we did a bookish breakdown in that episode because it was supposed to be released before this one that you just watched or listened to.
And we had thought about moving them all around, and we're like, we could have done it, yes.
Yeah.
But I think we might have done something a little special on that bookish breakdown.
Yeah.
And, we were just like, you know what? Let's just leave it.
Yeah.
And it'll just be a nice little fun surprise down the road.
Yeah. So here's your little teaser of what's to come.
All right. Well, with that, we'll come to an end. So, as a reminder, if you would like to follow us, we're on all social media platforms at Your Bookmark Pod. So that YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Twitter. You can email us at yourbookmarkpod@gmail.com. Give us your thoughts, leave us a comment, let us know how you did if you did it along with us. Send us the email. We want to hear from you. We want you to join our little book club podcast.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I guess with that, we'll see you at our next chapter. Bye.
Bye.